Wait for him.
Flintstones, they're always stoned. They're the really stoned-up family. Always smoking crack rock. They get high more than Bob Marley.
Barney.
Yeah, Freddy boy.
Did you get the reefer rock?
Sure did, Fred. It's Columbia Rock Gold.
Hey, that's good
A couple tokes and we'll be high as a pterodactyl.
Hey, Barney, are these leopard skin spots moving?
No, Fred. You're just really up.
Yabba dabba doobie.
So guess who died? Well, you probably already know who died. Joe Barbera from Hanna-Barbera.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Joe...
How will we go on?
Yes. Oh, how can we go on?
Yes, that's what I said.
Oh. Joe Barbera, half of the Hanna-Barbera animation team that produced such beloved cartoon characters as Tom and Jerry, Yogi Bear, and the Flintstones. See, the Flintstones got it. There you go. Died yesterday, Warner Brothers spokesman said, and you know what? He was 95. Believe me, old enough and then some. How can you feel bad when somebody is 95 and died, huh? He died of natural causes. In other words, he croaked. That was it. At home with his wife Sheila at his side. With his longtime partner Bill Hanna, Barbera first found success created with the highly successful Tom and Jerry cartoons. I don't think it's going to be a really good day. The antics of the Battling Cat and Mouse went to win 7 Academy Awards, more than any other series with the same characters. The partners who had first teamed up while working at MGM in the 1930s, then went on to a whole new realm of success in the 50s and 60s with a witty series of animated TV comedies including The Flintstones, The Jetsons, Yogi Bear, Scooby-Doo, and Huckleberry Hound and Friends. Well, Joe Barbera is dead. He was a mere 95, a veritable child in South Florida, especially in Sunrise Lakes. And a North Carolina woman was arrested after complaining to a police officer that the crack cocaine she had just purchased in Hawthorne, Florida wasn't very good, authorities said. Hawthorne, Florida, where the hell is that? I know where Hawthorne Park used to be in Chicago. Where the hell's Hawthorne, Florida?
I'm Googling it.
Google it. Eloise, E-L-O-I-S-E. What kind of a name is that? Eloise, I don't know what her name is. D. Reeves, 50, approached the Putnam County Sheriff's deputy. I guess if we knew where Putnam County was, we know where it was. Must be in the Panhandle, you think?
I'm checking right now.
I see. At a convenience store Friday, telling him that another man had sold her bad crack that contained wax and cocaine. She pulled an alleged crack rock out of her mouth and placed it on the deputy's car for inspection, the Palatka Daily News reported for Tuesday's editions. Oh, Palatka, that's up there in the Yedemsveld. The deputy told Reeves that she'd be arrested if the crack tested positive for cocaine. She was charged with possession of cocaine and bought it out for $1,504. Somebody sold me some bad crack. Do you find Palatka, Putnam County, Hawthorne, Florida, all of these, any of these things?
All of these things.
No.
Not really.
How is that possible? How about Putnam County? I mean, Palatka is the name. Yeah, I have no idea where all those Yahoo places are up there. I don't want to know. I don't want to be involved in it. So anyway, Josh Cordes had his big meeting at 2 o'clock yesterday. We got a lot of updates here and some heavy-duty personal stuff. How's Myspace doing on that poll today? Oh, it's got 2 votes. No votes. No, 2. Got up here. Let me just warn you people out there about that whole MySpace experience, okay? Get a real email address. Real people use real email addresses, and they exchange them back and forth, and they don't use MySpace as a place to hide. There's some people, of course, who go into hiding, and they assume that they can do that, and then they find out, oh, geez, didn't work. But we'll get into that. Here's the poll result from yesterday before we hear about Josh's big meeting with Mattie Bell and Greg Reed. Greg, by the way, has tried to rape QAM. Over there at Power 96, over on the other side of the building. He's trying to rape QAM and destroy everything that Joe Bell is trying to put the pieces back together again. Thanks a lot, Greg. Go away, you lunatic, you maniac, you sports nerd, silly person, you. Here's yesterday's poll. We had 1,552 votes. I'll remember Jeb Bush most for helping his brother steal the 2000 election, 634 vote. His whole law-breaking family, 267. Interfering with Terry and her cube, 156.
By the way, Hawthorne is by Gainesville.
Yeah, it's up there in Yahoo land. It's not as far north as I thought it was, or west, but by Gainesville, that's Yahoo-y enough for me. Wow. The stupid FCAT, 91. Remember the fat-ass governor for overturning the voters on state amendments, 86. For being a great guy, 85. Oh, man, the pain. The pain is bad, 85. 5.4% said the fat-ass governor was a great guy. Never stole a freight train. His fat ass, 52. His coke-snorting, prescription-forging daughter, Noelle, 45. Opposing the slots, 38. Being on TV whenever there was a hurricane, 28. Needlessly cutting down citrus trees, 26. I hate this poll, only 23. They liked it, 1.4%. Being a right-wing goober, as in gubernatorial, only 21. So there you go. They're overwhelming in this audience. They weren't really all that fond of fat-ass Jeb, and rightfully so. And, of course, Charlie Crist will be coming in next month. She'll be the new governor. Tara Conner, Miss USA, is up tour. She's got problems. I know everybody has talked about this.
Yeah, it's my kind of girl right there.
Dyke.
Hot and loves to party.
She's horny, and she's just doing everybody. One of her friends said she didn't really want to be Miss USA, although she's very ambitious. She always complained how it was a pain in the ass to wake up in the morning and she had to get crazy stuff done to her teeth. It doesn't say stuff, but it begins with an S. The girl can wake up in the morning and flip a switch and change it into Miss USA. Honestly, she's kind of like Lindsay Lohan, which much bigger and certainly not real boobies. Those can't possibly be real.
Hey, we'll take them.
Enormous. Oh, you'll take, I know. If Tara will be decrowned, her tiara will be passed to Tamiko Nash. Anonymous sources told the Daily News that Tara Conner was using cocaine, lustily kissing Miss Teen USA in public,
all right,
and sneaking into their Trump Place apartment. The source said she was a party animal. I've seen them, Miss USA Tara Conner and Miss Teen USA Katie Blair 18, kiss before. They always dance sexy on the tables. They definitely get
close. Nice.
Close. Oh. What am I getting at?
Listen, it's here for you, man. Just
yeah, it's here. Well, I'm not coming there to get it. Although I do have a big lunch appointment down there. Well, as a matter of fact, I've got 3 lunch appointments. I know that 2 will actually take place. Tara is said to have a drug problem and not be kept in secret. This doesn't make any sense. It's illiterate. Where the hell does this come from? Not to be keep in secret the person she's intimate with. Well, they're a little tongue-tied with this. Another source said she really has a bad drug problem. Everyone at Miss USA hated her. She slept with Blink-182's Travis Barker, and she sleeps with all the club promoters. She was latching onto her crew of promoters because she had no other friends, and she was using them for drugs. She started utilizing hip New York City people in nightlife scene to feed her addictions. Donald Trump, Miss USA pageant boss, said he and the Miss Universe organization will study the situation and reevaluate it because of her behavioral and personal issues. At the Upper West Side property where the Miss USA winner is given an apartment every year, the doorman said Tara doesn't live there no more. She returned to Kentucky, with or without a banjo on her knee. The doorman said she doesn't live here anymore. She's not allowed anywhere on Trump property. She's certainly not allowed to come back. I don't think it was her choice, really. The Donald, I guess, finally said, well, this is a little bit, even for him, it's too embarrassing. So there you go, Miss USA. Why the hell do I care about that? Do I care?
No.
No.
I do.
And you do, because you think that she's doing hanky-spanky with Miss Teen USA, and it's creating all kinds of wild, visions. Visions of sugar plums and big boobs dancing in your head. Here's today's poll. Oh, and also it's great to hear from Harry again from Detroit on Myspace. Oh, wow.
Any other tips today? Any other fun facts?
I'm going to read this email. I'm going to read it right on the air.
I'm excited.
908 on the poll today. 908, we'll get to 1,000 pretty easy, I would think. Now, what did we do yesterday during the show? We got to, we could have done 1,500.
Almost hit 15,
yeah, that was pretty good. I hate to admit that I love blank, and we got several choices for you. I hate to admit I love porn, 271. Why would people hate to admit that? I mean, this day and age, isn't that a little bit childish?
I don't know. That was my vote. I mean, I didn't really relate to anything else in the poll.
Oh. I hate this poll is doing, oh, look at that, 140. 15.4% hate this poll. What's wrong with this poll? This is one of our listeners' polls, for crying out loud. What's wrong with that? Well, evidently it must be some wrong, because you said you couldn't find anything else to vote for on there.
Right.
I hate to admit I love Neil Rogers, 118. Well, you could have voted for that.
You bastard.
What would be wrong with that? Antiques Roadshow, 90. I mean, I know that's some stupid show, but I've never watched it. Now, what is it?
I was hoping you were going to fill me in.
Oh.
It's one of those shows where people bring their old antiques, and a guy says how much it's worth.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, no. Like Mattie Bell, one of their old antiques. Antiques Roadshow, 90. Vanilla Ice Cream, 72. Talk Radio, 65. The Carpenters, that's what I voted for, 57. Even an old queen like me, it's very embarrassing. I love the Carpenters. Dog the Bounty Hunter, 44. I don't blame you. Musicals, 39. Neil Sedaka, 12. And now we just put MySpace on this morning. We got 2 people say they hate to admit it, but they love MySpace. And they're probably both pedophiles. MySpace is a place for people who are like young punks and who still think like young punks, and then, of course, people who are like chasing young punks. And leave it to Miguel to get me involved with that. Oh, brother. But now that my close personal friend out there is going into total hiding, changing his cell phone and email and shutting us out on MySpace, he's unreachable. Do you think that's going to change my life?
Hope not.
No. Unreachable, man. And then even you said you had some bad experience on MySpace.
Oh, I've gotten in some trouble.
Well, what does that mean? You want to give us details, or what has it gotten in trouble with what?
Meaning I have a girlfriend, and I've met a few girls that I've seen on MySpace, and kind of got caught for that.
You've met them?
Yeah, that's it.
Online or actually in the flesh?
No, I ran into them online, met them in the flesh.
Yeah.
Got in a little trouble for that.
I see. Well, there you go. Be real careful.
Bad news at MySpace.
I would hide your identity, man. All you people that want to go into deep hiding, just shut everybody else out. That's the way to do it. And then come to find out that you're not hiding at all. But nevertheless. 12 minutes after 10 at 560 WQAM, we got Mad Dog at 2. Now, there's an asterisk next to that. What does that mean?
I don't know. Did he take steroids?
There's an asterisk next to a Mad Dog's name today. So when he was on those Dolphin teams back in the 70s, he had bad roids. Then we got the Power Hour with Hank and the Mad Dog together between 4 and 5. The Humper Solo, 5 to 7, working off those calories. Panther Preview at 7 o'clock. And Geldy still hasn't called to invite me to lunch or anything like that. Bastard. What's wrong with you, man?
I'm sure he'll call today.
Panthers at the Maple Leafs at the Air Canada Center at 7:30 tonight, followed by the Ed Kaplan Show. Just a few days left for Eddie K. Did we ever get an update on that? No. Should have asked Clarence that when he came in there. But all he did was come in and boop and talk a lot of crap,
In record stores now, it's the most repulsive Christmas album you'll ever hear. Ally McBeal purges all the Christmas favorites. Ally McBeal purges all the Christmas favorites. Listen to it while eating fruitcake.
He is a cow, make no mistake about it. A real porker. If she lost 75 pounds, my name is Ishka Bibble. My name is Harry in Detroit. 10:17 at 560 WQAM. Now, what's the story with your big meeting? I don't know which order to do this, and we've got so much business to catch up on. Catch up? A lot of business.
What's the story?
No, I don't want to go into it yet. You got to tease it a little bit. The audience is on the edge of their seats. They know that you were meeting with Mattie Bell over at Pound 96, and, of course, Greg Reed, the evildoer, as they were trying to spirit you away from QAM. Josh is going to be leaving our show, but not right away. Now, what about Chris? Is he chopped liver or what?
No, not at all. He's in the running.
Well, what does that mean?
He's right there, man.
I know he's right here, but I mean, do you want to work on his show? Would you like to take Josh's place and
I would love to take Josh's
take all the abuse that he gets? I will say this right up front. I don't know you, so I certainly don't love you. I want to say that right off the bat.
Well, I was with you last year when Josh fell asleep for a network.
But I wasn't there, though.
Yes, you were.
I was in the studio?
Well, no, I don't know you face to face, but I've worked with you.
Well, like I said, if I don't know you face to face, how could I love you,
I'll have to deal with that.
I don't love Josh either. I like him. He's a good guy. He's done a fine job, and I don't love him. I'm not that crazy. I am crazy, though. I will say that. I'm a crazy person. Now, let me just ask Josh a question here.
Please do.
That has nothing to do with Mattie Bell. We'll get to that eventually when the whole audience has joined us. By the way, we got the ratings tomorrow morning at 11:30, 2 months of the fall book. Any interest?
No.
Okay. If you were you just got through telling me you had some bad experiences on MySpace.
Yeah, I've had some issues.
Well, let me say, let's just use a hypothetical.
Okay.
Let's say that there was somebody on there who contacted you, and they started to annoy you, or they embarrassed you, or whatever the situation was, and you wanted to cut off the communication.
Right.
And you had given this person, say, your cell phone and your email address, your regular email outside of MySpace, and you'd been communicating for a while, and you wanted them to, go away. Now, let me ask you this. Would you maybe send them an email?
Yes.
And say, don't contact me anymore, you're getting on my nerves, F off, something like that. Or would you maybe call them and leave them a similar message? Or would you change all of your personal information and go into hiding like some kind of a crazy person.
I'd probably write an email and call them, say, hey, sorry we ran into each other. It was a big mistake. And
that's right. Sorry it didn't work out. Have a great life. I wish you no ill and you're in an a-hole and whatever, like that. I just was curious. I don't know. I thought. No,
you're not crazy. Don't worry.
How are you so sure of that? No, I didn't think I was crazy, but I haven't been sure. Anyway, this morning, speaking of crazy, because now I have a new pen pal. I got a good friend, somebody I actually know from down there, who's been a friend of the show for a long time. George knows him very well, and I'm not going to use his name on the air because I feel uncomfortable. I'll call him Maishi. How's that? I'll use a Yiddish name, Maishi. And so anyway, I never do this. Maybe it was my luck is turning now. Maybe unlike what Harry says, maybe I should race over to Woodbine right now. I'll see if I find a good machine man, win the 166 grand progressive jackpot. But my BlackBerry, I usually charge it overnight. Now a lot of people tell me don't do that. If you keep charging the battery, it doesn't last as long. Well, it's lasted this long, which is a hell of a long time, and it seemed to be doing just fine. I just like to make sure it's 100% early in the day if I'm going to use it a lot, which I don't. But anyway, so that's just a habit I'm into of hooking it up, charging it overnight, and it's in the other room. Last night, for whatever reason, I'm going to bed, and I had the BlackBerry in my hand. And so being a lazy, fat, old slob that I am, instead of going back in the living room and putting the BlackBerry and, hooking it up to the charge thing, I just put it down on my nightstand next to the bed. 3:30 in the morning, it goes... It starts buzzing. I got an email. Well, of course, that wakes me up, which is fine. I don't want my friend Maishi to feel bad about waking me up 3:30 in the morning. I'm glad that because this is a person who's had a similar experience with in his case, with a brother. Okay?
Okay.
Who rejected him totally and just shined and just discarded him like some kind of human garbage. And so he's been hurt very badly, even though Maishi is as heterosexual as the day is long, even more so than you if that's possible. He understands the pain. He understands the pain that one male can inflict on another, and it doesn't have to do with sex. Now, I realize that 99% of the people in the audience are still going to think that this whole other episode that I've been involved in, rambling on like a lunatic about, it's a sexual thing, which it is not. It's got nothing to do with that. But at any rate, so anyway, he emailed me, and I emailed him back lying there in bed, and I'm tapping out on the BlackBerry, bada beep, bada boop, and then we exchanged a couple of emails, and by 4 o'clock I was asleep again. But it's thank God for him, man. You're good people. Thank goodness for him. And he's had somebody just wound him bad. You see, I don't understand the idea of people that want to inflict pain on each other, you know? I mean, I can understand bad marriage, things like that, when people over a long period of time really get on each other's nerves, when they cheat on each other. In fact, it would seem to me when there is a sexual involvement in the relationship, there's much greater possibility for hate and angst and psychosis. Am I right?
Yeah, I'd agree.
You bet. But if it's just like an alleged friendship or something like that, it shouldn't. And, of course, a brother, I mean, when it's like, blood relative, somebody you grew up with, and they just discard you like subhuman garbage, it's painful. So thanks for the therapy, Maishi. You're good people. Okay, now what was I going to get to Harry? Harry on the... Before I see, I wanted the Mattie Bell stuff we'll get to eventually.
Right.
And also, and one other thing I do want to say, too, since I'm not insane and not a crazy person totally, and this whole business about, am I going to retire and I'm going to... Well, what is that all about? This was an offshoot.
The people want to know, man.
What people?
The people.
The people? The peoples? No, I mean, this is an offshoot of all this aggravation. If I'm not going to, run away from my job and from 31 years in the market because somebody on the Myspace is playing games with my head or playing hide and seek and go take a peek and, drown in a creek, whatever the hell that's all about. I'm not going to do that. I'll do whatever the hell I want to do when I want to do it. Like with that poll we took. Neil should retire whenever the hell he feels like it. And like Ralph Redneck told my good close friend Ricky Ticky Shaw that when you've been in the market a long time, the time to retire is... You'll know when it's time. Wasn't that the line? You'll know when it's time?
That's right.
Well, this is not the time. I need that gambling money to feed my gambling habit every week at Woodbine. Oh, man. These people out there, you crack me up. Some of you people crack me up, and some of you make me want to cry. It's very sad. So Harry in Detroit. See, one thing I've discovered on this show, and of course I always knew it, if you talk about people, all of a sudden they come back with a vengeance, man. Just like that one episode. You talk about somebody on the air who disappeared, and all of a sudden they come back for a little while. Not too long, but, I loved it. It was great. And you know who disappeared? Phil the phony faxer disappeared.
Yeah?
Now, you may recall, because you went on vacation last week.
Right.
And the Friday before that, the last day before you went on vacation, I think that was the first of 2 emails we got from Phil the faxer, the phony faxer. Phony in the standpoint, that's not his name, and you don't want us to know who it is. giving me life advice and advice about this. So Monday, there was a follow-up. And Phil tells me it was the greatest show, maybe the best show ever, because I was talking about him.
Well, of course.
Maybe it wasn't Monday. I think it was Wednesday when we had all those great calls. He said, you see, you're talking about me and you're getting all these great calls. You think it's just a coincidence? Phil the Phony Faxer. Phil the Phony Faxer. Remember that by Peter, Paul, and Harry?
No.
Oh, speaking of Harry, I better do the break now because I want to give Harry's email justice. I want to take some time with it here on the air. So you don't think that somebody who isn't like hiding just in general would go to the lengths of changing their cell phone and their email and hiding on their MySpace page and going through, contacting every person they know saying, oh, well, I just had to change my email. It's got to be somebody's hiding for more than me.
Yeah, that's on the realm of a little crazy.
Yeah, I don't and of course, I guess maybe that's also intended to like frustrate me that I can't get a message to Garcia. But then again, I got a radio show every day for 4 hours, and you can be sure that the parties involved might be listening. Or not. Who cares? It's great radio, that's what I was told. 948 votes on the poll. 4 hate to admit they love MySpace. I'll say this much, it's interesting, it's got potential.
It snags you at first, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you get sucked in. And you think, boy, this is really great. Look at the people, and then you start exchanging the messages back and forth, and then you realize, if it's somebody you knew well or really well and that you can trust, that's a different story. But even my confidant that was emailing me at 3:30 in the morning back and forth, I gave him my regular email address. I don't feel comfortable about MySpace at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like everybody is reading it. Probably I'm crazy about that, but I just feel like it's
nobody's reading your messages, but whoever you're sending them to.
No, he's not reading the messages. So in other words, nobody's reading them.
That's right.
Well, that's good. That's reassuring. I got news for you. I never wrote one word during those psychotic 2 weeks of anything salacious, sexual, any innuendo. In fact, the only one thing that was written was by him about certain size of his, like that. It was just a joke. That's all. It had to do with shoe size, all those old stereotypes about people with big feet, things like that. Size 12, by the way.
Oh, my God, your breasts are beautiful.
All right.
Absolutely.
Jingle bell, they're out of stock. You cannot find that brand new Xbox. Knowing the inventory had its run means your anger time has begun. Jingle bell, they're out of stock. Microsoft's got what every kid wants. Parents have checked at the malls everywhere. Now they're tearing their hair. The day they hit the shelves was a day from hell. They sold out right away. Christmas Day time, you'll hear your kid whine. Santa really shafted me good today. Sorry there, Mom and Dad, feel the defeat. Your kid wants this a lot. Strangle Bill Gates, boy, that would be neat. That's the way it goes. Yes, I know it blows. They're out of stock on Xbox.
What are we going to do? How we survive without the old Xbox, huh? It's 10:32 at QM. We got 969 votes on the poll. We're going to have over 1,000 by 11. How do you like that?
That's going to be great.
That is really something. By the way, Chris, you want to start marking these down, make a little log of this. That's one of the reasons that Josh has lasted that long on the show. He knows every day how many votes we had on the poll. He doesn't care. And neither should you.
Will do.
So what's wrong with Chris having a job? He sounds like a real guy, and I'm sure he and George will hit it off well, smoke a big fat one or something like that.
That's right.
In the hallway. Boy, there's a lot of stuff going on. Look at all these faxes and crap coming in. What's this poll? That's a good poll, too, by the way.
Yeah, it was. That's why I sent it.
It's an excellent poll. I like that one. In fact, I think that may be tomorrow's poll. Thank you so much, all you poll people, especially during the holidays, man. It's right in the middle of Chinooka, and it's only 6 days before Christmas, and it's amazing what's going on here. This is a poll, a fax, whatever the hell it is, from Stuttering Gil. He says, I hate to admit it, I love road rage. I love to give a person a finger or a F-U on the highway. Stuttering Gil says, how do you like that? A kind of unassuming guy like that, you'd think would be like really... Although those are the ones to be careful of, Those are the ones that really just blow and just go nuts. So let's have road rage on the poll. Can we handle it?
It's on there.
We got 4 who hate to admit that they love MySpace. How's that I hate this poll doing? That's bad. Second place, 15.5% hate the poll. That hurts my feelings. I'm going to start crying real bad. And then somebody faxed this in from the New York Post. Bridget Moynihan tried a Hail Mary pass last week to save a relationship with former fiancé Tom Brady, but it was too late. Oh, Tom is on the market now. Well, the hell with all these other people. The New England Patriots quarterback was over it. Moynihan flew down to Miami December 10th to host I don't have any idea. What, a Baume Mercier party at the Raleigh? What is that?
Hold on.
What is that? We don't know.
I don't know.
Well, some kind of a party at the Raleigh. And keep an eye on Tom and set a spy. But Brady was said to be annoyed because while the Patriots were in Miami to play the Dolphins, he was having a good time at the bars with the local women when she arrived. I told you there was a reason why they stunk last week. Why they tanked that game to the Dolphins. I told you that. He was in the bag, man. No one travels with the team. He had already broken up with her, said one source. The stress on the actress showed she was exhausted looking, and Nicole Richie thin. It emerged Thursday that the two had broken up 2 weeks ago. He doesn't need that bitch. He can have anybody he wants.
Yeah.
Including me.
Play the market, Tom.
That's right. Play it fast and loose, Tommy. Do it smart.
By the way, that's a watch company.
Oh. She was there for a watch party. She was watching him, and he was watching everything with boobs. So anyway, stuttering girl with a road rage. Let's see. What was the other? Oh, and then I got Harry's facts here before we get into the very heavy-duty stuff of the big meeting yesterday with Greg Reed and Mattie Bell. Unctuous little Mattie Bell. For anybody in the audience who isn't familiar with Mattie Bell and his role in the whole Beasley in that building there, let me just say...
Oh, he's a little guy, kind of funny looking.
Yeah, that sums it up real well. Now, Harry, who's also on Myspace, and I have a feeling, Harry, I know what you're trolling for on there. You're not fooling me. Maybe we'll meet Harry one day on Dateline. Yeah. Maybe we'll make you famous on Dateline one day, Harry. I don't think so. Harry seems like a good guy. He says, I'm flattered you mentioned me on your show. Of course, I didn't expect not to be put down, but I was surprised you spent so much time on backgammon. I'm not the one that spent so much time on backgammon. You would want to give me a whole lecture about how you should give up playing slots and take up backgammon and be the Tiger Woods of backgammon, Harry. Then he says, my point about all that needs some explaining. Wait till you hear this. I want you to take notes.
I'm ready.
It says, let me put it this way. You have a lot of morons in your audience. No kidding, Harry. That's obvious from the calls. But you have some smart people, too. He says, hey, I love Boca Brian as much as anybody, but it's Neil God who makes the show. You have an intelligence not found elsewhere on the airwaves. Can you feel the suction? And that's why I find it odd you would be playing the slots. If there was any way to beat them, that would be one thing. He says, then there is. I was one of the first to do the math. That the machines in Nevada, maybe elsewhere too, that have progressive jackpots, where a bank of machines are linked to one jackpot. Once you figure out the best percentage plays, I did the poker machines, then you figure out how high the jackpot has to be before you have an edge by playing. I mean, this is like I'm going to go in there with like a slide rule, like a mathematician. I go there for fun. I don't expect I'm going to win, and most of the time I don't, and a lot of times I do. Many a day I'll come out of there winning $2, $3, $4 grand, whatever the hell it is, and many days I'll come out losing my ass. What's the big deal, man? I can handle it. It's a hobby. It's fun. Well, based on that, he says, teams formed in Las Vegas. They all had pagers, pre-cell phone days, and when somebody observed a bank of poker slots where the jackpot was favorable, they called the team members to lock up all the seats in those machines and played until somebody hit the jackpot, yada, 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 and moved on for greener pastures. Anyways, if there was a ways to beat them, that would be one thing, but it just seems like you're out of character watching those reels spin around to pass the time. But to each his own. I just hope you'll take some time to see those videos I mentioned. If you want, I'll send them to you, says Harry. I don't want you to send me anything, Harry. I can get them by, I appreciate the offer, but I don't want them. It sounds to me like Harry's a stalker when you come right down to it. You know what I mean?
Better watch your back, Gaiman.
Yeah. Not too big on it. I think on Myspace, I know there are a lot of stalkers out there. I'm not one of them, by the way. I'm not interested in stalking anybody. I'm not going to show up at anybody's door, knocking on the door. Oh, gee, how come you won't talk to me? I'm not. My life is moving on. And like I said, I'll leave this gig when I'm good and ready. In fact, Joe Bell said the other day, and he actually did say this. I want to put it on the record. He said, if you want to work until you croak, that's what we want. We want you to work until you croak. That's what he said. I said, based on Joyce and what she's doing to the show, that croaking part may come fairly soon. So anyway, how do you like Harry's good advice there about, how come I'm going to the slot? Because I want to, okay? I don't need advice from the audience on how to spend my money, who to leave in my will, okay? I don't need that. I mean, I did have a little oral support there the last couple of weeks during this personal stupid trauma thing that I've gone through, and it has been very annoying and very depressing and deflating. It's not a big deal. It's not going to change my life. This isn't some kind of a romance or some kind of a sexual liaison, which a lot of idiotic lunatics out there are assuming. It's just one of those things, you know. It's people, relationships, life. Life isn't just about money, although I'll tell you one thing. It's a hell of a lot better to have it than not, you know. It beats the alternative. It's like getting up in bed in the morning. Maybe you don't feel best on a certain day when you wake up in the morning, but you know what? It beats the alternative. At least you woke up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I hate to admit that I love 989 votes. Porn, 295. I hate this poll, 153. Neil Rogers, 127. 127 people love me like crazy. Not necessarily the right ones. That's the problem. Oh. Antiques Roadshow. Now, I'll tell you one thing. My buddy in Miami, though, that I was emailing with last night, what a good guy. And all, you know, it's funny, you know, when you know somebody a long time,
yeah,
but not really well, and then you discover what they're really all about. You know what I mean?
So he's a really good guy?
He is a good guy. He's a great guy.
Now, is he, like, going into the will?
No. What are you talking about? Jesus, man, you are bad. You're as bad as the audience. I'm thinking I'm going to give Harry your numbers, okay? Harry can come stalking your ass. Not going in my will.
I think Josh is trying to find out if he's going to be in the will.
Who?
If Josh is going to be in the will.
No, Josh will not be in the will. In fact, I said the other day, because these people are trying to tell me that Georgia has to be in my will, I said, maybe I'll leave Georgia $100,000. And everybody said, oh, that would be great. That would be wonderful. And Josh says, oh, if you left me just half that much, it would be great.
That's it, man.
I'll leave you 50. I'll leave you about 50 cents. Can I get back to the poll, please? Please, pretty please. See, now he's getting like you, Chris. See, he does want your job. Now he's starting to interrupt with the caustic comment. That's good. More sarcastic, the better. Just rip me an ass, man. That's what it's all about. Neil Rogers, 128. Antiques Roadshow, 96. I still don't know what that show is, and I don't want to know, but Chris told us, and I wasn't listening. Talk Radio, 77. Vanilla Ice Cream, 75. Man, that is boring. Wow. How could you love vanilla ice cream? Huh? I could see you like it with a bunch of stuff smeared on it, but how can you love vanilla ice cream? Just so pedestrian, so bland.
Yes.
The Carpenter, 62. Richard and Karen. Hey, Karen, how about some vanilla ice cream would be good? Dog the Bounty Hunter, 46. Musicals, 42. Neil Sedaka, 14. Myspace, 4. And Road Rage, we put that on there now. Unless Stuttering Gill votes for that, nobody's going to vote for I Love Road Rage, are they?
Hey, in South Florida?
Like I said, it's probably going to be number one. 994, right on the cusp of 1,000.
The biggest names,
right on the
best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Rock solid. Howard David's a bitch.
Now see here, I ain't never said doy. I'm getting very annoyed about me saying doy. I ain't never said doy. But you say that I that they ought to pay me by the I'm getting tired of hearing it everywhere I go.
You always say doy.
I don't say doy. But this one and I will agree about my career.
1047 at 560 WQM. Happy Tuesday. 6 days before Christmas, man. I'll tell you, we are kicking some big, nasty ass. And don't forget, tonight's the night for that checkpoint that I still can't figure out.
Yeah, over there in Dania somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere in Dania, somewhere between here and Uranus. Broward Sheriff's Office deputies will conduct a traffic checkpoint operation tonight from approximately 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. in the 300 block of Dixie Highway or the 5200 block of Southwest 40th Avenue, both in Dania Beach. Vehicles will be inspected for defective safety equipment, and motorists will be asked to show their driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance. And I sure hope that you've got your current address on your driver's license, okay? I mean, if you're one of those people that moves around a lot and you got some old address from Hallandale or somewhere like that, they're not going to be too happy about that. They'll probably drag your ass off again. Let's see, what's this other facts? Well, we got all kinds for today's poll. Oh, this is good.
Yeah, we got some good faxes coming today.
Yeah, I told you this. You didn't believe me. It started last Wednesday. We turned the corner, man. As I was in my 19th nervous breakdown or whatever was going on. I think the audience is finally starting to understand the human element or something like that. In fact, I still got this fax from George's buddy Joe, you know? Jacob's ex-neighbor, Joe.
Okay.
And he says, this was a side of him that has never been witnessed and one that brings him down to our level. I don't know what that down to our level means. I don't know what that is. But see, I'm one of those people. I'm like a real living and breathing person with emotions and feelings and whatever. But there's some guys, a lot of guys out there, the only nerve endings are on the end of their, you know what I'm saying? Those are the only nerve endings that have any feelings, which is unfortunate. For today's poll, I hate to admit I love home and garden shows, cottage cheese, and good country music. Oh, man, what could be better than listening to some good country music, eating some cottage cheese, watching a home and garden show?
Sounds exciting.
Let's see. I don't know if you're a poll building, but how about... Boy, a lot of suggestions for this poll, which can't hurt because maybe it'll bring down that I hate this poll number. That's bad. Right in the middle of the holidays, it's a slap in my face. Ow! Right. 15.5% I hate this poll. That's bad. We don't do bad poll on this show, man. Playing slot machines. Oh, okay. That's not bad. Josh can relate to that, although you wouldn't admit to it because you don't love playing slot machines, but if you did...
No, I don't.
Although, why should that be a closet thing?
What do you mean?
I guess because people like you create these stereotypes of all those old farts that sit there feeding the machines all day.
That's who play them, man.
Get out of here! You're full of baloney, man.
I'm just telling you. In general,
okay, whatever you say. You're the expert. You
in general, that's who plays
for like 5 minutes.
You might see a couple of people at Woodbine that walk by that are young that are giving it a shot, like me. You know, maybe you throw $40 in there.
Wrong. And at Fallsview in Niagara Falls, which is a real casino with 3,000 slot machines and all the table games and everything else, there's tons of young people there, especially like at night or on the weekend or holidays. You got to understand, if you go into any casino in the middle of the daytime, who's going to be there?
Old people.
Right. Retirees, old, decrepit farts looking for a few laughs like me, you know. That's who's going to be there. But if you go there in the evening, in fact, even in the daytime, there are plenty of young people in there. What the hell they're doing and where they got that money, I have no idea. They're probably doing drug deals. Who knows? I'll have to ask. 1,011 votes on the poll. It's not even 11 o'clock yet. Boy, that really puts a big feather in everybody's cap. I'll get to your Mattie Bell story in a minute. But there's a little more on Miss USA. I think she's a little bit more important than Mattie Bell or Greg Reed. I could be wrong about that, but I think more guys in the audience are hanging on the edge of their seat with an update for Miss USA. They're not worried about ugly Greg Reed and short little quizzling Mattie Bell. Will Miss USA suffer the same fate as many an apprentice? You're fired, did it, from Donald Trump, it asks. You're fired, did it. The Miss Universe organization owned by Trump and NBC scheduled a news conference today to discuss Miss USA Tara Conner, who's come under fire amid reports she had visited bars when she wasn't yet 21. Conner turned 21 yesterday, the legal drinking age in New York. In a statement last week, the organization's president, Paula M. Shugart, said officials would evaluate Conner's behavioral and personal issues, also check to see if those boobies are real, to see what we can do to work with her and what we will do about her reign going forward. And interestingly enough, it says her reign, R-E-I-G-N, her reign going forward, and she's pictured here carrying an umbrella. Isn't that interesting? You see the play on words there?
Mm-hmm.
Miss USA is considered a role model, and her conduct must reflect that, Miss Universe organization spokeswoman Lark Marie Anton said last week. Behavior such as underage drinking is clearly prohibited, she said. Trump declined to discuss her behavior last week, but said if Conner did get the boot, first runner-up Miss California Tamiko Nash would take over as Miss USA. We have to make a decision, he said. There's no question about that. A telephone message left for Conner with her grandma wasn't returned last week. Oh, isn't that sweet? She's with her grandma. Conner, a 5'5" blonde, has been competing in pageants since she was 4 years old, kind of like John Bonet. After winning the USA title in April, she finished fourth in the Miss Universe pageant in July. I'm an easygoing, down-to-earth girl, Conner said in her contestant profile. Throughout my life, hardships and different experiences made me a very humble yet strong individual. It's because of these life lessons I become the person I am today, with big boobs. In 2002, Miss Russia, Oksana Fedorova, won the Miss Universe pageant, but was stripped of her title after violating her contract. Trump said Fedorova didn't show up for some photo shoots and charity events. It was the first time a title holder had been ousted in the contest more than 50-year history. Never trust those Russian chicks, Josh.
Okay.
We had a Miss Universe from Russia that was a total disaster, and we fired her, and Miss Panama took over, and she did great, Trump said. Fedorova denied that she was fired, said she gave up the title voluntarily. So there you go. There's the latest. At least it's got nothing to do with Brittany or Paris or Brangelina or any of that stuff.
Everybody just relax with the, what are we expecting from these bimbos who are in pageants,
They're sluts.
Let's go. They're just party girls.
So what's wrong with that?
Yeah, just let them be.
Who doesn't like a good slut? Friendly slut.
That's right.
1,020 votes on the poll. Let's see. Plain slots don't have any votes. Cottage cheese has got one, though. Who the hell would want to admit that? You like cottage cheese?
I used to. I don't like it anymore.
It's just something I never would buy. I mean, in other words, if it was something, I went into a restaurant, ordered like a steak, and they had like a little cottage cheese on the side, I would eat it. I don't dislike it.
Yeah.
But when I go to the supermarket, I sure as hell don't bring home a thing of cottage cheese. Oh, man. To me, that's like vanilla ice cream.
That's worse.
But then again, there must be some people out there who have, speaking of nerve endings, they have no taste buds. Their taste is in their tush. So evidently, those are the people that like vanilla ice cream. And then another big one is butter pecan. What is the big Simmons with butter? Now, butter crunch, See, I'm a nut for toffee. I don't know about you. Anything with toffee in it?
I like coffee. You ever had like Breyer's coffee ice cream?
How about, better than that, how about Ben & Jerry's Coffee Toffee Crunch?
I've heard about that.
You haven't had that?
No.
How about you, Chris?
No, sir.
You're not an ice cream guy?
I like ice cream. I'm not a big coffee ice cream or drinker. So.
Coffee Toffee Crunch, man. Forget about the coffee part. Coffee Toffee Crunch. It'll set you free. It'll keep you really occupied all afternoon, too, by the way.
I can imagine.
It'll keep you real close to home. How we doing on that poll? We got, that's right, way over 1,000 already. How come I keep flipping that thing over there and Brady Quinn keeps coming off the edge of the screen there on that? You know what I mean?
Now you going to put Tom up now that he's single?
I'm not going to put Tom Brady on my screensaver, okay? I've got that really...
Just checking, man,
On our MySpace page. Is it on MySpace or our regular page? I think it's on MySpace. We got that Tom Brady video. It's cute. It's got its moments. All you people obsessed with Tom Brady. All you guys, too. Like that. He's, I love him. He's a great quarterback, and he still looks very good. But I have no sexual, I mean, if he walked in here right now and said he was very despondent because he broke up with his girlfriend, I would do him right in the middle of the show, no problem, But he's not, he's not in the same, physically, he's not in the same league with Brady Quinn, okay? Tom Brady's got a pretty face,
Okay.
But the rest of him, he's not well built. From the chin down, he's a mess. He's not my cup of tea, man. And, of course, you wouldn't know because you wouldn't look at that. Even though we got all these practically... That one naked picture, remember that one?
Yeah.
In the locker room?
Now, wait a minute. That wasn't really him, though, right?
It was him. It was Adam Vinatieri was in the background that somebody was trying to... Listen, I know Tom Brady when I see him naked, okay? It was him.
I'll take your word for it.
But he ain't no Brady Quinn. That's what I'm... And, of course, I hope that Phil, the chronic phony faxer, Phil doesn't get upset because we mentioned both Tom Brady and Brady Quinn, and Phil just starts shaking and quaking when he hears those names. On the show, of course. Calm down, Phil.
Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
No.
Oh, my God.
I'm Brady's out. I want some Quinn.
Absolutely.
You ain't seen no man quite like Brady Quinn. He's a football player, dude. A solid wall of meat. The kind of guy that I want to do that's good enough to eat. I wonder if he'll go on a date, but there's no chance at all. So does that make me a sports queen if I want to see him grab the balls? Oh, baby, wow, look at that kid. You ain't seen no man quite like Brady Quinn. I got a high-def TV screen that helps me see his buns. I can drool all I wanna, but I ain't gonna ever get none. The days of a business school, okay, that's not so great. But I'm gushing over him madly, at least until he's 28.
All right.
I'm Brady's out. I want some Quinn. You ain't seen no man quite like Brady Quinn.
No.
Oh, baby, wow. Look at that kid. You ain't seen no man quite like Brady Quinn.
Oh, we're waiting the news conference on the fate of the reign of Miss USA. We're waiting that. That's breaking news, man.
Speaking of
she
Brady
is pretty
Quinn,
hot, yeah.
As your wallpaper, this Tara Connor's replacing mine.
Although I'll be honest, it's just showing a close-up of the face. She's, I don't know, a little puffy.
Yeah, you Google it, and there's some goodness.
Oh, she looks really good there. But there again, see, are you watching CNN? I'm sure you're not.
No, I'm not.
I'm positive of that. Well, anyway, there was a picture. It looked like her cheek.
I got it out right now.
She had the mumps or something. There she looks okay, like normal cheek.
Okay.
I know you'd like to see her cheeks, but that's beside the point. Can I get to something a little bit more serious? Then we got to get into your whole Mattie Bell thing. We got to take a zillion calls. I don't think there are going to be a lot of calls the rest of the week. I could be wrong. And then next week I'll be on vacation and George will be here. I'll be having like a lot of important lunches.
And then I'll make up stories about the good calls we got.
So let me ask you again, when are you leaving the show? The news media might spend time talking about successors to Senator Tim Johnson, but a son of the South Dakota Democrat is confident his dad will go back to work. Thank God for that, man. We don't need the fascists to, take control of the Senate back because this poor guy's illin'. That's the easiest question for me to answer, said Brendan Johnson, the second oldest child of Tim and Barbara Johnson. From my conversations with the doctors and based on the progress he's been making, I feel very confident that he's going to be getting back to work sooner rather than later. It was the first interview given by a Johnson family member since the senator was hospitalized December 13 with stroke-like symptoms, followed by brain surgery at George Washington University Medical Center in Washington. Brendan Johnson says, one thing about Brady Quinn, he ain't no, what's his name there, Ingemar Johansson. What the hell's his name?
Huh?
Joey Heatherton Harrington. I can't even think of his name anymore, he's so bad. Joey Harrington. Bad. Pathetic. Brendan Johnson says his conclusions came from talking with doctors, also seeing how his father has done neurological exams. It's also knowing my father and the idea of him missing a single day of work, let alone weeks of work, is going to be very difficult for him to swallow. He said, like many other people in South Dakota, as soon as he can be back, he'll be back. That's what Tim Johnson said. I'll be back. He didn't say it quite like that, but he tried. Awaiting a news conference on the reign of Miss USA with those big, gigantic bazungas. 865 members on our friends on our Myspace page. 865 friends. And I think these are all friends, or at least some of them. I notice now there are people who apply to be friends on there, because I'm starting to get involved because Miguel's got other things to do, like chase certain people around the building. But there's one that says this profile is no longer, it's got the big X through it, no picture.
Right.
Deleted. And says this profile no longer exists.
Right. That's people that got sick of MySpace.
What do you mean by that? In other words, they deleted it?
Yeah, they canceled their, their profile.
Well, I know somebody who did that, but, who cares? But, in other words, they cancel us or we cancel them?
No. You can go on and cancel whoever you want. You can go in the settings and, adjust. So he could have just set his profile private to you personally, and, everybody else, could see him.
Are you talking about Jacob again? Are you obsessed with poor Jacob? Why can't you leave him alone?
Sorry.
Sounds to me like you're jealous. I never offered you to put you in my will.
I am, man. I'm totally
Sounds
jealous.
like real jealousy to me.
2 years, man. You knew him for how long?
Admittedly, an act of sheer lunacy on my part. You know what? But we all make mistakes. We're all emotional beings, and at the right time and the wrong time, well, you make some kind of a gesture with the best of intentions, of course, and it's like, oh, geez, he's a crazy person. And I will admit, I was a crazy person for about 2 weeks. But I'm back to abnormal now. Thanks to my good friend Moishi there in Dade County. Isn't that kind of unusual? I'm very lucky. Wasn't that a propitious thing that I stuck that BlackBerry on my nightstand last night? I never put it there, ever.
No,
ever.
Is there a reason for, the 3:30 thing? It's not like we're on different times.
I don't really know.
Okay.
But
you just woke up and you were let me return it. No big deal. 3:30 in the morning.
Well, I didn't know what the hell it was, and I reached over and I grabbed the BlackBerry and I clicked the thing and I saw there were 2 messages and I saw who they were from and I thought, well, and of course you don't know if somebody contacts you in the middle of the night. Maybe they couldn't sleep. Maybe they got their own issues, which he obviously does. My close personal good friend, who's a good guy and doesn't deserve to be screwed over by anybody in his family or anybody else. And neither do I, for that matter, okay? What the hell did I ever do to anybody? Did I ever steal a freight train? I never even got into a loose caboose.
The Donald is making the announcement.
Oh, here we go.
For our current Miss USA, Tara Connor.
Yeah.
It's not been easy. Paula Shugart, all of the representatives of Miss Universe and Miss USA have been working very, very hard on a very, very difficult
Yeah, very, very, very
problem.
bad hair, yeah. And very, very ponderous.
In 2002,
Yeah.
I fired Oksana Fedorova.
Yeah, fired it.
Who was Miss
big deal.
Universe.
Big shot. Looks like he's got purple hair today.
She did a terrible job. She didn't do her job. She was a very beautiful woman, did not do her job. And it was an easy thing for me to do. In the case of Tara, she made some very, very bad choices. Some foolish choices.
Oh, my God.
And she will readily admit she made some mistakes.
Oh, my God.
Some of those mistakes were bad mistakes. I've just met for a pretty long period of time with Tara.
All of these things.
We talked about a lot of things.
I'll bet.
And to be honest, I expected fairly routinely that we would be terminating Tara as Miss USA.
Oi!
After speaking to her, I saw not only a beautiful young woman, that
maybe
was
she made him an offer he couldn't refuse, you know what I'm saying?
I saw somebody that had a good heart, that really, really tried. She left a small town in Kentucky, and she was telling me that she got caught up in the whirlwind that's New York. That we all know.
That's a good excuse.
Good
when she was in South Dakota, or wherever the hell it was, she was a real class act. Now she's in New York, she's a slut.
It's a story that's happened many times before.
Sure, before.
To many women and to many men that came to the Big Apple. They wanted their slice of the Big Apple, and they found out it wasn't so easy.
Will you get on with it already with that stupid purple hair?
I've always been a believer.
It's like a cartoon character, for Christ's sake. The guy with his money's got to have purple hair.
I've always been. Tara is a good person.
Yeah.
Tara has tried hard.
What kind of agreement they came to?
Tara is going to be given
another
second chance.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right, I'm clapping.
Young people today have a tough road.
See, there you are now. I'm so glad that this happened. You don't know her from Adam's apple, okay?
Hey, she's hot. Okay?
Well, there you go.
She
That's
likes to party. She's my kind of girl.
Exactly. There you go.
I don't even need to meet her.
I rest my case. And you're giving me crap for, getting obsessed with somebody on the Internet, although mine was not a sexual attraction. Yours obviously is. So, therefore, I'm at least several pegs higher on the human Richter scale.
Well, I haven't put Tara in the will yet. But, maybe we can come up with an agreement like the Donald did.
I'm sure you would. If you had anything to leave, I'm sure you'd leave her a chunk of it, which isn't going to sit really well with that Russian girlfriend of yours. You better start making amends right now. Anyway,
not listening.
Can I get back to this thing, this profile no longer exists? The profile, and this is, I don't understand it, because it's somebody who was, I don't get it.
That means they've either deleted their profile or...
No, but this is in our mail thing. In other words, this is somebody who sent a message and they've been deleted.
Yeah, I've been getting that myself. I don't understand that either.
It says the profile you received this message from has been deleted. Either this user deleted their own profile or MySpace deleted it for spamming and or constant violations. To remove this message, click the delete button below. And so now it's in my trash bin. But in other words, this was in the mail. In other words, somebody was sending us something. Yeah. Now, why would there be somebody who would have deleted us and they're sending us something?
Well, maybe it is spam.
We deleted them.
You do get a lot of spam emails these days on MySpace.
You do?
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten, the only ones that I've gotten are...
Maybe we need to call the Spaminator.
That's right.
Or the Terminator.
You get like a hot chick and you're like, ooh, who's that? And you click on the profile and it'll send you to some porn site.
Really?
Yeah. You can link that up. It's easy.
A good one?
No, not really.
Anyway, speaking of that, when you relax, it's just, we never got to your meeting yet. Boy, I'll tell you, talking about really milking it for hours and hours, this has been great. I think I've turned the corner mentally and emotionally, psychologically, career-wise. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? I'll tell you one thing. When you've been pouring out 4 hours of BS every day for all the years that I've been pouring out, it comes easy, man. You just when in doubt, open your mouth and it pours right out. Just like Linda Blair in The Exorcist. I hate to admit that I love porn, 311. I just don't understand that, why that's doing so well. What's to admit? It's like saying, I hate to admit that I'm human.
Yeah, right.
I hate this poll, 167. That went up to 15.7%. Curse on those people, man. A pox on you. Neil Rogers, 132. They love me like crazy. From a distance, from a safe distance, far, far away. Boy, look at the way the sun is shining. It's beautiful, man. Antiques, Rosho 98, Talk Radio 83, I Love Vanilla Ice Cream 77, and we feel so bad about that. The Carpenter 68, Dog the Bounty Hunter 51. Musicals 43, Neil Sedaka 14, MySpace 7. Be very, very, very careful. I'm warning you right now. Be real wary on MySpace. Even Josh Cordes warned you get locked in, man. You get hooked on that thing, and all of a sudden your life isn't worth a dime. Hate to admit I love country music 4. I would hate to it too, but I hate it. Cottage Cheese 3, Home and Garden Show is 3, Road Rage 1, and Playing Slots so far has got... Oh, and why would anybody hate to admit they enjoy that? Maybe Harry from Detroit will vote for that eventually if he finally gets on this thing. If he can figure out how... Well, obviously he can because he's a MySpace person.
How about we put golf on the poll?
Ooh. Well, now Harry has 2 places. No, actually he's got 3 places to go. Haven't mentioned the third one yet.
God.
Here's your girlfriend. She's looking a little pasty and skanky today, if you ask me.
Andrea?
Come on, speak up.
They will be doing drug testing, yes. They'll be doing drug testing, yes.
This is really getting ponderous. I thought this was going to be the exciting part.
Well, until this morning,
on the
I
podium
didn't know
with his purple
exactly
wig.
which way it was going to go.
And there's Tara
and I had
standing
a lot
looking
of
like a
people
little
on both
Schmidt-faced, if you ask me.
The equation. I mean, a lot of...
Look at that. She's winking at people in the crowd. You know, I don't think winking, honey, is the appropriate way. This is not the appropriate time to be winking and blinking and nodding and flashing the boobies. What?
She's winking at me.
She was not winking at you. Are you? You must be dreaming. I thought I was the one that was a crazy person.
I think she had an eyelash in her eye. That's what it was.
Yeah, that must be it. She had a sty in her eye and her eye on some guy's fly.
I console her.
I felt then and there...
She don't look good. I'll tell you right now. She looks... She doesn't look good there. Not that great.
Listen. Listen.
What?
I want you to listen to this, okay? You're gay, and I'm telling you that woman is fine.
Didn't I agree with that before? I just said right there, right now. See, you're in denial.
I'm telling you, she's crying and she's gorgeous.
She's not looking so good. She's looking pasty and in the bag, kind of like, which she probably is both. No, she's not looking so good.
Yeah, she is.
Although I will say this, she doesn't have that puffed up right cheek like she did before in that one clip they showed.
Want to come? Well,
she's still got huge boobies, but she's got this outfit on. There's no way she's covering the whole deal up. You know, she's wearing like a man suit
that
today.
Professional businesswoman thing going.
Maybe Tom Brady's going after Miss USA now. Maybe that's why he dumped that other broad. Huh? You think that's in the cards? Could be.
He could get her.
Now, where the hell did she just go? She just oh, there she goes. She went and got something, a little something. Oh, she's got her Miss USA thing and she's putting it back on again.
Okay. Any other questions?
Is this? This is like
this
pathetic
is
what it is. Yeah, it's so ridiculous. She goes and walks off the stage. She comes back and takes the Miss USA, whatever you call that thing.
Sash,
yeah, and puts the sash over her over her shoulder.
You're never going to prevent it. The
no,
question
she's not, I'm
is,
telling you, she's looking dark. She's looking like, I don't know, not that good.
Yeah, we should all look so dark.
Cordes and I want to see the evidence of her and Miss Teen USA kissing.
I thought I was the old pervert.
Not today.
I hate to admit I love her. 1,078 votes on the poll. We're going to do a number today, man. Mark it down. We're going to do a number. I'm just so distracted by the fact that she looked so, in that one clip, man, she looked really phenomenal.
And she does right
luscious.
Here, too.
And now she's looking... No, she doesn't. She looks, I don't know, like in the bag.
No.
In the El Sacco.
She was just crying, and she looks great.
Oh, she was just crying? How do you know that?
I've been watching it ever since I turned it on. I saw her give the speech while she was crying.
Oh, I see. In other words, I missed part of this thing.
Yes,
well, why didn't you alert me for crying out loud? You should have interrupted. All these desperate guys out there, they don't want to hear me reading about a bunch of crap about Harry on the MySpace. They want to hear her crying. My God, they'd probably be rubbing their kneecap. No, she looks, I don't know. At any rate, there she is. She's on your TV right now, and the Donald is there. And I'll tell you one thing, she looks better than him. Oh, man. A guy that's got millions and millions, maybe even billions of dollars, and this guy can't afford, he better go see Chuck Alfieri. Give him the number. No charge for you, Donald. Purple hair. I mean, what is that? Is that the new deal now? Wild colors?
Who knows?
I mean, I thought that was
gay.
Guys that dye their hair purple and red and stuff like that. Oh, now here come all the cameramen, and the cameras are flashing, and bada-beep-bada-boop-bada-bop, and there you go. What a cornball presentation, I mean, I'm sure you're happy with the outcome, but the presentation. Okay, let's get to the important stuff. Let's forget about Tara Conner and stuff like that. She's small potatoes. Let's get to the big meeting with Mattie Bell and Greg Reed and Josh Cordes yesterday about his future with the BC Broadcasting. A drum roll, no less. How do you like that? And?
It was a very uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
As I knew it would be. I had to go in there and just break them down the situation at hand.
Yeah.
I did that.
Did you tell them they didn't have any business offering you a job on the other side of the building, wandering around the building, trying to take away QM employees and trying to play with your emotions? But you should have said thanks anyway, because Joe Bell matched it, and thanks to you, I'm making the big bucks now.
I did not say that.
And thanks to Neil not making a big deal about it, so that you don't wind up having to stay on the show and making much less money. Which I'm all for you making all that they can give you. I'm all for the talent, which in your case. No, but seriously, I'm all for you. We're getting whatever you can get out of them.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And you're not in my will, regardless.
Come on, not even a little?
No. Well, it all depends on who. Maybe I'll work till I croak. Maybe I'll work another several years. Maybe I'll have millions and zillions and trillions.
You should just go out now, so I'll be like your last producer, or, the last board op.
You remind me of one of my good, close personal friends who, when I suggested to him a couple of days ago that I was thinking about retiring, he started giving me a lecture, and I said, the only reason you don't want me to retire is because you're afraid I'm going to blow all the money I got and then leave you squat. And he just laughed, I mean, great guy and a good friend, but nevertheless, this is what is in everybody's mind. Where did this start? Where did this come from? About everybody thinking they want a piece of my money.
Are you kidding?
I know, I started it.
Yes.
No, but I mean, what did that have to do with anybody else?
Well, your little mishap on basically just offering.
It wasn't a mishap. It was a misjudgment. It was getting over-emotional. It was the time of the year. I thought it would be a really nice gesture to somebody who obviously was extending the hand of friendship and wanted to be a part of my close-knit family. And when it was feeding me all kinds of nonsense, who isn't evidently what he pretends to be. Remember what I told you? I said I was obsessed with a person who doesn't really exist.
Yes.
And then this is the Internet for it. This is Myspace and other places on the Internet. There are people on there, and you can confabulate with them and email them back and forth and have all kinds of, communication, and you think you know the person, but you don't. That's why I'm telling you, this is a fantasy life, this whole Internet business today. Which may be fine for a bunch of punks, and nobody ever got a sexually transmitted disease from cyber sex or whatever you want to call it. But the fact of the matter is, it's just it's socially unacceptable. But if it makes you happy, have a good time, But you want me to apologize for becoming emotional and offering to put somebody in my will, and granted it was a premature evaluation, but it was done with the best of intentions. Okay?
Okay.
And now everybody and their brother wants to either be in the will or tell me who I should leave it to. Oh, you got to take care of George. That was another part. I want to hear his messages from Saturday about how I got to take care of George, and he's been the Ed McMahon to the show for all these years. I think George said it best last week. I've taken good care of him for 16 years. I've kept him with a livelihood, and the fact that they don't pay him squat, there's nothing I can do about that. But I've done him well. I have not done poorly by George.
And he knows that.
And he does know that, and he appreciates it, and I appreciate everything he does too. I'm not a hard ass. I appreciate things people do. But at any rate, 26. So there you go. You updated. It only took an hour and a half. Updated on virtually everything. This is becoming definitely a soap opera. When this whole thing started a couple of weeks ago, and people said, "Boy, this is like as the worm turns," or something like that, like a soap opera. And life is like a soap opera. Or maybe it's more like a body wash opera.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers.
Rectum.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
That fanny is so large, I don't think he has ever seen the Buttmaster machine in his life.
Well, Buffalo has a football team, the greatest in the land. And everybody thinks they're great, because they really are. The Buffalo Bills are the number one. See what I mean? So just sing along.
When you say Miami,
when you say Buffalo,
Super Bowl.
And you're the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills. They're the greatest team in the history of the human race. They're the Buffalo Bills. They're the greatest thing since sliced bread and canned beer. Yeah, there you go. And you jazz up that redneck stuff. You listen to that banjo. Holy sweet God, listen to that. When you say Buffalo Bills, it don't sound so rednecky, do it? Everybody sing along now. Are you Bill fans? Here we go. Well, the Buffalo Bills are the best team. They have the best record over the last 5 years. And they went to the Super Bowl 4 times, which is more than I can say for this scum-sucking fish. And they're the greatest, because I really like their uniforms. They sure as hell beat the heck out of having a fish on the helmet, because they're the Buffalo Bills. The best football team what I ever seen in the history of my life. They are the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills, the home of Jim Kelly, the greatest quarterback in the league. Yeah, everybody, the Buffalo Bills. They're the Buffalo Bills. And they've been around longer than the stinking rotten fish. Well, they're the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills. What would you rather have as a pet, a buffalo or a fish?
Oh, yeah, that Joey Harrington, man, he is really doing it, Joey Heatherton. You were right, by the way, and I was wrong. She looked really fine when they came back with that shot they just showed a minute ago.
There you go. You're coming to your senses?
Well, I'm just telling you, she looked really bad standing next to him. I mean, you just got so defensive and psychotic about that.
I think you were looking at the Donald or
something. She didn't look good. She looked really dark, and maybe she had cried away all the pancake makeup, and she was like, she looked bad.
No, she didn't.
Right there, just now, she looked just as fine as wine. She looked as close to perfection as you can get. Almost as pretty as Brady Quinn. Not quite. But nevertheless, to each its own. I think thanks to my new pen pal, Macy, see, this is somebody at least I know is not going to go and pull a vanishing act and disappear, and is going to be coming up here next month and with his girlfriend, unfortunately, but nevertheless. And, brought me out of my deep depression. People can, be human with each other. They can actually help, because a lot of people have had these experiences. And, of course, I knew when I started talking about all this crap on the air, I was going to get a lot of garbage from the morons out there. But, you know something, even without talking about this, what do we get from the morons out there? A lot of garbage, one way or the other. So what do I care? Stupid crap from stupid people. 1,108 votes on the poll. I hate to admit that I love porn, 324. We know you do. I hate this poll, 170, 15.3%. That just tears my guts out. Just when I thought that they were all healed up again and somebody reaches in there again with a shiv and just starts twisting your kishkis again. I think we have a bit called Twisted Kishkis. Yeah, we do.
I gotta take it easy.
Just in time for Chinooka, baby, we got Twisted Kishkis. I hate to admit I love Neil Rogers, 139. Well, there you go. Antique Roadshow, 100. Talk Radio, 88. Vanilla Ice Cream, 79. I feel so bad for you people. The Carpenters, 68. Dog the Bounty Hunter, 57. Musicals, 44. Neil Sedaka, 16. Myspace, 7. Don't get too involved, okay? There are people on there who are looking to do evil things to your heart and your brain and your feet and your... Home and Garden Shows, 5. Country Music, 4. Cottage Cheese, 3. Road Rage, 3. And Playing the Slots, finally got 1. Probably Stuttering Gill. Who was it that sent that in? I think it was Stuttering Gill. Oh, no, he did the thing with the Road Rage.
Yeah.
Who said Playing the Slots? Some anonymous goofball. 5670560, pound 560 in the Verizon Singular Wireless line. Going to get on 50,000 really good calls between now and 2. You'll see. Although you don't believe me, do you?
No.
You'll see. We'll have at least a couple. Maybe even Harry from Detroit will call in, but I sure hope not. In between backgammon and golfing outings. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil. I was watching Saturday Night Live. They had a Boone in the Box on there.
Uh-huh.
And where they were, I bet most of your listeners don't even know what a Boone in the Box is.
Yeah.
But they were doing a big skit on Boone the Boxes, not with Boone, but with the boxes and the thing that they put in the boxes.
I see. When Brad Pitt was on off stage, what's in the box? I see. Wow. Do you follow any of that?
What?
No, well, you don't even know what the Boone in the Box thing is, do you? We had it on our website at one time.
Of course
with Pat Boone with the cardboard box.
Yeah, I think Boca Brian has it as his
he's got it on his thing, as a matter of fact. He's got a stunt Pat Boone thing. WQAM, hello.
I'm here.
WQAM, hello.
Neil, how are you doing?
Okay, sir.
Great. Listen, for the poll, I just want to put the food channel in general. I have a great ice cream flavor for you from Haagen-Dazs.
Yeah.
It's called caramel cone.
I've seen that. I never tried that. What's
it is
good?
great, yeah. You might not like it because the most of it is like vanilla ice cream. I don't know.
Okay, like I said. Okay, what did you say first?
The food channel in general.
Food channel. Okay, thanks, Pally.
All right. Love
Have
you.
a happy.
Bye-bye.
Okay, don't be giving me no more ice cream flavors, please. Okay, don't be doing that. Coffee Toffee Crunch is pretty good. I said the other day that Since Fish Food, Ben & Jerry's has been striking out bad. That's one that came Since Fish Food, and it's very good. Coffee Toffee Crunch. You don't like coffee, though, and I'm not a coffee drinker because it just explodes my innards. But I do like Coffee Toffee Crunch. In fact, I might just go. Maybe I'll get a pint right now and eat it while I'm on the air. I'll pop it in my microwave for about 90 seconds. Get it down to like a nice, almost a liquid form, you know, and drink it.
See, I'm not into that.
Into what?
I like me a nice frozen, hard ice cream. I don't like throwing it in the mic.
Do you ever get a pint of ice cream like at a convenience store or a market anywhere?
No, I buy Breyers, like the big tub,
Because when you go and buy those pints, they are
rock solid.
That's
right.
the way I like it, though. You get
they're
a spoon.
frozen. Like, you can't eat it that way.
I eat it that way.
Take a hacksaw?
Yeah, that's right. I like the, tastes better to me.
Okay, whatever you say. When are you leaving? WQAM, hello.
Neely.
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's the dealie?
Hey, what do you got?
There's a special election going on in Dade County today in District 13. Are you aware of it?
No. Don't know and don't care.
It's a recall vote for Natasha Sejan.
Okay, whatever you say. 5670560, pound 560 in the Verizon Singular Wireless line. Don't know, I don't care. How's that? I mean, I don't want to put that guy down, but talk about boring, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't know about you, but I'm thinking that my sitting here reading all these stupid-ass bedtime stories about stuff that nobody cares about, as opposed to all of this personal foolishness that all of us have been talking about lately. People would much rather hear that. Not that I want to experience it or go through it, but I mean, just people are much more fascinated by that.
Of course.
That's why. Let's see. Today's Tuesday, so in a couple of days it'll be Thursday, unless the world keeps spinning around. So 2 weeks ago, Thursday, that show that I did, all these people, that was the best show you ever did. And that was one of the greatest shows. Why is that? Why is that? Because I admitted to a little humanity and nerve endings and sensibility on the air. Like
they're obsessed with you, man, and they want to know what's going on with you. You had yourself a moment, and you shared.
No, I didn't have a moment.
Oh, I'd say
you had a moment. I had 2 weeks of lunacy, insanity. I think it was a self-hypnosis, and again, my luck, my bad luck. I don't want to rehash it. It's just bad luck. Why did I see that picture on there? This is the one. There are 6 billion people in the world, Jacob. There are 6 billion people. There is the one that could have reduced me to an emotional cripple. And you're asking, well, why is that? I don't know. See, if I knew the answer to that, I would have $1 billion. And then I would leave you in my will. I'd leave you about $50. I don't know. But that's my luck. That's the way it goes. When things are meant to happen, in other words, either they're a positive or a negative way, they're going to happen. It's bashert. That's what the Chinese say. It's bashert. You ever heard the Chinese say that? No, and you won't. How are we doing on the poll? Let's not start getting back. You see, you want to keep going back and back. Let's move forward, okay? Not backward. Let's plot ahead. Although I will not be putting my BlackBerry next to my bed anytime again soon. That was strange.
Yeah?
That must be part of my psychic powers again because, ordinarily over the course... Although I will say there's some spam stuff that's come through there in the middle of the night. And you people at the Herald, stop sending spam mail at 4:30 in the morning, okay, you morons? Because I left the thing on because I had no idea whether we were through confabulating, my friend and I, at that hour in the morning. And we were. We had sent back and forth a couple of very emotional and long, and we did wonders for each other. Doesn't that sound very corny?
Yes.
In our time of emotional need. Well, he's a good guy. And also looks pretty good. But, see, this is one person you would know better than to mess around with. But nevertheless, he doesn't have to worry about that. 1,125 votes on the poll, and somebody finally voted for playing slots. They hate to admit it, but they love the slots. Take that and put that in your backgammon pipe, Harry. You schmuck. Harry's a good guy. He's just bored. Find a boyfriend, Harry.
Neil? God?
Oh, God, don't go in there. Oh, you hear my stomach bubbling? Oh, it's bubbling. I gotta go back.
People heading home from work late one night when they saw the sign on the fast food light. They pulled in and gave their order to the girl. And the next thing you know, they started to hurl.
At Taco Bell,
Their stomachs started to bloat.
in Taco Hell,
A burning inside their throat.
it had a smell.
That's when they started to blow.
Not feeling well.
From the bean burrito, it must have been the curse, the quesadilla, that's causing all of this diarrhea. But none of the sick are going to die. They just had a bad case of E. coli.
From Taco Bell,
Their stomachs started to bloat.
in Taco Hell,
A burning inside their throat.
it had a smell.
That's when they started to blow.
Not feeling well.
From the bean burrito, should have skipped the damn chalupa. You might not have made but super. Next time you pass the sign, say no. Even though it's grilled, so it's good to go. Lots of people got sick and wished that they owned a gun so they could hunt down the people who think outside the bun. The pain from the cramps they felt deep in their gut. So next time they'll just go to Pizza Hut.
Not Taco Bell,
Their stomachs started to blow.
from Taco Hell,
A burning inside their throat.
it had a smell.
That's when they started to blow.
Not feeling well.
From the bean burrito.
From Taco Bell.
11:47, 13 to noon at 560 WQAM. Happy Hanukkah and Merry Christmas, etc. All these things.
All of these things.
A new poll from Newsweek has some interesting data on Hillary Clinton's electability. According to the poll, Hillary beats John McCain 50 to 43%, squeaks by Rudy Giuliani 48 to 47%, and trounces the unctuous Mitt Romney 58 to 32%. Her presumptive rival, Barack Obama, narrowly loses to McCain and Giuliani, but thumps Romney as well, 55 to 25. It's important to take this poll and everyone you'll see until Labor Day with a grain of salt, it says. Remember when Drew Lieberman was atop the 04 field, or Howard Dean was at 1%? The public knows very little about candidates like Obama and Romney. No one can predict exactly how a Hillary candidacy will play, or whether Obama can live up to the hype. That said, Hillary's lead over McCain is interesting because of what it says about him. In previous polls, the senator from Arizona has handily defeated his Democratic opponents, but in recent months, his numbers have begun to fall.
Oh!
Among independent voters, he slipped 15 points since March. You know, that's John McCain who never met a war that he didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a puffed-up cheek. Maybe he could go cheek to cheek with, what's her name there, Miss USA.
Oh, no.
Even McCain is... What a grotesque thought that is. Huh? Talk about tainted goods. Even McCain admits that only 15 to 18% of American supporters plan to escalate the war in Iraq by sending more troops. Once more Americans learn about his dogged support for the war and busy courtship of the religious right, they may form a different opinion of the so-called maverick and discover he's a sellout. Total sellout. When in doubt, watch John McCain sell out. Without a doubt. 5670560, pound 560 in the Verizon Singular wireless lines. WQAM, hello.
I like fudge.
Well, good. Good for you, Pally.
All right.
Congratulations. 5670560, and pound, maybe we ought to put that on there. Maybe he's embarrassed about it. I would be. And pound 560 in the Verizon. At the Fallsview Casino in Niagara Falls, they have a fudgery place. Remember the fudgery in the Bowling for Columbine?
Yes.
Remember that woman that was working two jobs in Detroit? And, well, I guess one was in Pontiac, and she was on the bus. And then, of course, he tracked down Dick Clark out there in L.A., and we found out Dick Clark was a real... And you know something? Dick Clark had that major stroke, and he's like that. Like a cucumber, like a fruit, like a vegetable. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Stop.
WQAM, hello.
Neil God.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm good.
I know you're up in Canada and they don't have Publix, but have you seen any of those Ben & Jerry Publix exclusives?
No.
You should really try Haitian Sensation.
5670560, pound 560 in the Verizon and Singular wireless lines. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, Neil, I'm really bummed out about this Miss America thing. I thought she'd get fired.
Yeah, but she did not.
Because she was a few weeks away from, a spread in Playboy and Penthouse.
Hey, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, it's just a matter of days before the video comes out online. Somebody will have it online, the video of her and Miss Teen USA.
I'm searching for it as we speak.
I'll bet you are. Desperately, just frantically searching. Maybe we can have somebody put it on our Myspace page.
If I find it.
How's that sound? If we find the video, we'll put it right on we'll put it on NeilRogers.com and blow the thing out. Look out, Eric, we're going to blow the thing out. Or let's just tell everybody we found the video and put it on there. We'll get 80 trillion hits on there. We got the video of a Miss USA doing Miss Teen USA and vice versa. They're doing everything that's ever been invented and some things haven't been discovered yet. Bunch of perverts. WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes.
All right, now you got a shameless request. Is it Christmas? Hello?
Hello?
Neil?
Yeah, with the phony voice?
Request?
Yeah, okay. I got a shameless request. Lose the phony accent.
I would have faded that if I was in the other room.
Are you starting to knock Chris already just because you think he's not up to doing your job?
No, he just doesn't know the chronic voices like I do yet.
Well, so why don't you give him like the high sign, man? Flipping the bird or something, like you just jump right up and start flagellating like you're flapping your arms are going to take off in flight. Do something. Why, who was that?
That was our reverend friend.
It was?
Yeah.
He does that voice too? Well, see, you're more on top of it. You're more in touch with him than I am. When you, like Jicka says, I'm out of touch. WQAM, hello.
I thought Boone in the box.
And the funny part of that is I believe it. I'm sure of it. 5670560 and pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular wireless line. The best news of all is that you're there and I'm here. That's the best news of all. And every time I think about that, every time I look out the window, it puts a big smile on this ugly old tarnished puss of mine.
Now, how cold is it there?
It ain't too cold. WQAM, hello.
Hey, good morning. It's been a good year since I've talked to you.
Really?
Yeah, how you been?
It's 35 degrees is what it is, and there's no wind, so it's not really that cold. I'm doing fine, and how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Been away for a year. I just got back. The show sounds as good as it used to in the old days, in the golden days.
In the golden oldies, yeah.
Full of piss and vinegar and anything else that goes along with it. But anyway, just wanted to call and say hi and see how you're doing and say you're doing a great job.
Okay, have a great holiday.
Good day.
Okay. Wow. How do you like that? That was Paul Harvey Jr., who didn't even sound like himself, but nevertheless. And, of course, George is probably lucky, too, because George hates him like poison. George is on vacation this week, Paul Harvey Jr. Phil. Oh, that's Phil. But not the same Phil. We didn't get a fax from a chronic phony faxer Phil again, did we?
Did we?
No, we did not. And I'm just mentioning that because I'm sure the audience is sitting on the collective edges of their collective seats waiting for like another update. But probably, phony faxer Phil, since we don't talk about him all the time on the show, don't make a whole show about him, he's probably not too pleased about that. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon Singular wireless line. I told you we get a lot of great calls today. You were skeptical. Like this one here. QAM, hello.
Neil, how's it going?
Okay, sir.
It's Pete, the old chronic board op.
Wow.
I just wanted to tell you, I wish you happy holidays. And I'm a long-time listener. You know, we go way back.
You're chronic, Pete.
Not really.
Chronic. In fact, I got your fax on the Dania checkpoint right in front of me there with your name on the header.
That's my public service to society.
You sound like an old man now, Pete.
Well, I am, Neil. We're old. We're all getting up there in age.
Yeah.
One
of my former board ops on, what was it, INZ?
INZ, going back to the good old days. Ernie Sochin, Mike Spindell.
John Broward, Daffy McCallum. Stan Major. Okay, hey, listen, take care of yourself, Pete.
Love you, Neil.
I want you to think one word, backgammon. Okay, think of that. When you find somebody that has no life, always. I mean, Pete's a good guy, but
I have no life.
This is motto. He's obsessed with me and with his show. Just obsessed. Good guy, though. He would sure never turn on me, I'll tell you that. Those who know me the best, they're obsessed. You know what I mean? They're obsessed.
Yes.
Be very wary if people are obsessed with you. Run the other way. Change your underwear, change your shoe size, change all your phone numbers, change your address very, very often, even more often than usual. I'd run like a son of a bitch. Wouldn't you?
Yes.
And as far as the will thing is concerned, I will say this. I am going to put everybody in there for a little piece. I mean, yeah, just, that would be the right thing to do. Just as like Chicken Neck, Boca Brian, what's he going to do once I'm gone, huh? Who the hell's going to keep his sorry ass alive? Right?
Well, that's very nice of you.
So maybe I take like 300 grand out of there. What's 300 grand when you're making the big bucks like I am? 300 grand, leave like George 150. Now I leave George 200. See, and I didn't notice any response there because as George's number goes up, that means everybody else's number goes down.
Listen, I'll stay strong at that 50. You know, you just. I'll be happy with that.
And what does Chris get out of this? He hasn't even started yet. Now, I'm not leaving you my will, Chris. I don't even know you.
That's okay.
Well, maybe if I get to know you, but I doubt it. No, seriously, 200 for George, maybe about 60 for Chicken Neck and 40 for you.
Fair enough.
You'll take 40. See, he wanted 50 before. Now he's down to 40. I bet you he might even settle for...
About 30, man.
Wouldn't surprise me.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers.
Speed at 12 to 1 hour on WQAM.
This year, ring in the holiday season with a voice that rings as clear as a jingle bell. It's a Macy Gray Christmas. Award-winning vocalist Macy Gray sings in a style that's beyond compare and a language that's beyond comprehension. On a Macy Gray Christmas, Macy sings all her Yuletide favorites like Hi There Ain't a Thing, Right in the Helmet, and this indecipherable classic. A Macy Gray Christmas.
A Macy Gray Christmas is available at your local gas shop.
1202 at 560 WQAM. Happy holidays from all your good paisans and even from us at QAM. Heather Whips writes an article in the, what is this, Live Science magazine. I'm sure you read that on a religious basis.
All the time.
Heather Whips writes, A Brief History of Human Sex. Birds do it, bees do it, humans since the dawn of time have done it, but just how much has the act really changed through the millennia and even in the past decades? Are humans doing it more? Are we doing it better? Sort of, say scientists, but it's how people fess up to the truth about their sex lives that's changed the most over the years. Humans have basically been the same anatomically for about 100,000 years, so what is safe to say is that if we enjoy it now, then so did our cave-dwelling ancestors and everyone else since, experts say. Even the pissed-off caveman there on the Geico spots. Even he's a vile animal, no doubt. Just as our bodies tell us what we might like to eat or when we should go to sleep, they lay down for us our pattern of lust, says University of Toronto psychologist Edward Shorter. Asking the musical question, or maybe answering it, is Edward Shorter. Sex has always offered pleasure, he says. Sexuality has had a lot to do with our biological framework, agreed Joanne Rogers, Director of Media Relations and lecturer at Johns Hopkins Medical Institutions. People, and indeed all animals, are hardwired to seek out sex and continue to do so, Rogers said in a recent interview. I imagine that it's evidence that people at least like sex, and even if they don't, they engage in it as a biological imperative, even if they hate it, even if they can't stand it. It is nearly impossible to tell, however, whether people enjoyed sex more 50 years ago or 50,000 years ago, said David Buss, professor of psychology at the University of Texas, author of The Evolution of Desire, Strategies of Human Mating. Strategies. That must have something to do with Myspace. There is no reason to think that we do it more now than in the past, although we're certainly more frank about it, Buss told Live Science. Indeed, cultural restraints, rather than anything anatomical, have had the biggest effect on our sexual history, Shorter says. To be sure, what people actually experience is always a mixture of biological and social conditioning. Desire surges from the body, the mind interprets what society will accept and what not, and the rest of the signals are edited out by culture, he writes in his book, Written in the Flesh, A History of Desire. Written in the flesh. The mind interprets what society will accept and what not. In other words, if you see somebody really hot, like in a shopping mall, and your mind processes that, but then you realize that it's socially unacceptable to reach out and just grab that person and start like fondling and doing all sorts of grotesque and wonderful things to them. Hopefully your mind registers that, unless you just get a little carried away. That's not to say that cultural norms keep people from exploring the taboo, but only what's admitted to openly, according to archaeologist Timothy Taylor of Great Britain's University of Bradford. But there's all these people studying this crap, man. Doesn't that make you feel a lot better about life? Makes me feel so much more secure. The idea that there's a sexual line that must not be crossed, but in practice often is far older than the story of Eve's temptation by the serpent, he writes, in the history of sex, 4 million years of human sexual culture. 4 million years, man! Religion especially has held powerful sway over the mind's attitude toward the body's carnal desires. Most sexual psychologists agree. Men and women who lived during the pious Middle Ages were certainly affected by the fear of sin, Shorter said, though we noticed there were other inhibiting factors to consider, too. Maybe all that heavy clothing they used to wear made it a little bit more difficult, you think? Like the knights, you know, all that armor and crap that they wore?
Yeah, that would have sucked.
Not really a good idea for a quickie. The low priority attached to sexual pleasure by people who lived in distant times is inexplicable unless one considers the hindrances that existed in those days, Shorter writes. He points especially to the 1,000 years of misery and disease, often accompanied by some very unsexy smells and itching that led up to the Industrial Revolution. After the mid-19th century, these hindrances started to be removed, and the great surge toward pleasure begins, he says. Many historians and psychologists see the late 1800s as kind of a watershed period for sexuality in the Western world, with the Industrial Revolution pushing more and more people together, literally, in dense, culturally mixed neighborhoods. Attitude toward sex became more liberal. The liberalization of sexuality kicked into high gear by the 60s with the advent of the birth control pill, letting women get in on the fun and act on the basis of desire, as men always had, according to Shorter. The 1960s vastly accelerated this unhesitant willingness to grab sex for the sheer sake of physical pleasure, he said, noting that the trend of openly seeking out sex just because it feels good, rather than for procreation alone, has continued on unabated into the new millennium. No, you've got to be kidding me. But despite the modern tendency toward sexual freedom, even today, there are vast differences in attitude across the world, experts say. Cultures vary tremendously on how early they start having sex, how open they are about it, how many sexual partners they have, said Buss, noting that Swedes generally have many partners in their lifetime, and Chinese typically have few. An informal 2005 global sex survey sponsored by the condom company Durex confirmed Buss's views. Just 3% of Americans polled called their sex lives monotonous, compared to a sizable 26% of Indian respondents. While 53% of Norwegians wanted more sex than they were having, a respectable 98 times a year on average, 81% of the Portuguese, were quite happy with their national average of 106 times a year. That's like once every 3 days. Kind of like, what's his name there, Kenny on the morning show, who seems obsessed with talking about how many times he and his wife are doing the deed. Keep talking about it, Kenny. They love it. Ratings tomorrow, by the way. I sure hope they kick some big ass. You think?
Yeah, I hope so.
Like I said, about 20,000, I think, for you. Though poll numbers and surveys offer an interesting window into the sex lives of strangers, they're still constrained by the unwillingness of people to open up about a part of their lives that's usually kept behind closed doors. And what if we weren't bound by such social limitations? Taylor offers the promiscuous and very laid-back bonobo chimpanzee as a utopian example. Bonobos have sex most of the time, a fairly quick, perfunctory, and relaxed activity that functions as a social cement, he writes. But for cultural constraints, we would all behave more like bonobos. But for cultural constraints, in other words, if we didn't have cultural constraints, we'd be doing all kinds of crap all the time. In physical terms, he says, there's actually nothing that bonobos do that some humans sometimes do as well. Well, there you go. You want to be a bonobo? Or is that bonobo? I have no idea. You know a bonobo monkey?
No.
Neither do I. 1,179 votes on a poll. Let's see if we're down. Oh, under 15%. I hate this poll. I feel so much better about our lives in the Sunshine State, where it ain't so great. 14.7%. Under 15% hate the poll today. That's bad. I hate to admit that I don't see anything wrong with this poll. Do you? Can you explain that to me?
No, I like it.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Well, good. Boy, it's about time. Back up to 30 now. 5670560. Pound 560 on the Verizon Singular Wireless lines. Look at that phone, man. Dead as a doornail. Really quiet. I told you we have a lot of great calls, but, not too many. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, they're great.
They haven't started coming in yet, the great ones. WQAM, hello. QAM. Hello. Not there. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Neil, listen to you for a long time, and I think you're capable of this. You put together a medley of Sandy Payton, Mike Ranieri, Ann Bishop, and Sally Fitz.
Yeah.
And you know Sandy and Mike hated each other.
Yes, I do know that.
And I really want to tell you something. You alone.
What do you really want to tell me? Because so far it's been a little weak. Go ahead.
It is weak. What can I say? This is. I'm your typical caller, but I have to say this. You really do keep a little bit of the Miami history alive with all of these folks that you jab occasionally. Because this town's weak when it comes to any culture at all.
No kidding. No
Right?
kidding.
Have a nice day.
Oh, there's your friend Sandy. Wow.
Oh, wow.
I would love to keep you all to myself.
She was the best. Yeah, they hated her like poison. Everybody in the building except Cheryl hated her like poison. Have a great holiday, pal. You got no material. Good guy, no material, zero. But he's trying to excel. He's trying to rise above the rest. Didn't you think he was trying very hard? Not succeeding, but trying very hard.
Yeah.
Good job. Trying. WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I think we could all agree that Josh would be a great replacement for George. What do you think?
Well, at least he came up with something different today, A little different angle on the usual boring crap. George is on vacation this week, as you well know, sir. Call him back next week and have him hang up on you. I'm sure he'll enjoy doing it. 567-0560, pound 560. In fact, maybe we'll switch it around. Josh gets $200,000 in the will. George gets 40.
I like it.
Why should I leave you? Seriously. Let's get serious.
Okay.
That's the $200,000 I got to leave to Jacob.
Oh, that's terrible.
What do you mean by that? Oh, he's enthralled with me. He's just a coward. That's all. He's just run away like a child, a coward. It's okay. A lot of people like that. They're terrified of me. You do know that. You do understand that I have this bad reputation of being an evil person and a hard ass.
You have that power,
Right. And I'm just an old, soft, old queen. That's all. Just a puffy old guy. But nevertheless, I think maybe $1 million. $1 million for Jacob. 40 cents for George. And how about Harry? That backgammon and golf, that's two expensive hobbies, I think. Harry's probably plunging his guts out on the internet backgammon. I'm telling you. One thing about the internet, whatever you want, it's there, you know what I mean? In other words, no matter what your stupidity or what your weakness, no matter what you're looking for, it is there.
That is definitely true.
You can lose every dime you've got. You can wind up going to jail. You can wind up having people break your heart, to destroy your life. Whatever you want, if you want it, it's on the internet. Thanks, Al Gore.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
And do I like that?
The Mad Dog is out of control, and you'll find out why when you hear the latest release from Blockbuster Entertainment. Jim Mandich sings duets.
Well, all right. Riding around in the breeze. Well, all right.
Hear the Mad Dog, Jim Mandich, sing classic rock.
All right. All right.
Jim said he felt a little bit foolish.
Kind of like a eunuch in a whorehouse.
But now he says,
I like it. I like it.
The Mad Dog just can't kiss enough of that cottage cheese butt.
If he wants me to sing God Bless America and pasties and a G-string up here, I'll do it.
You got soul, and everybody knows that it's all right. All right.
Listen to the Mad Dog sing himself happy.
All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Miami.
Jim Mandich sings duets. Available now at all Blockbuster stores.
12:18 at 560 WQM. So anyway, Spazzing Spaz, or whatever his name is, he looks like the Beast with an icon on it. Have you ever seen that on our Myspace page?
No, but I can look at it.
He's one of our regular chronic type people. At any rate, he just sent another one of those nifty messages, and I clicked on it, and on the right-hand side of the Myspace page, how there's that whole column of messages and people's pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and of
comments.
course,
The comments.
Right. And as you put, and then, by the way, Johnny G, take a look at that picture you sent me. Are you looking at that?
Yeah, I am.
You're the, oh, brother. Johnny, talk about chronic. Don't go away mad, Johnny. Just go away. So anyway, that you see spazzing. It looks just like the Beast with a nightgown.
Yeah, it really does.
Yes. Maybe it is the Beast.
He's a large
anyway,
fella.
It's George Bush attached to a crane being, whatever is happening there. And when you add the new one, the one that's the furthest down on the bottom gets pushed off.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Well, guess who was on the bottom? And as soon as I saw the new one, I quickly clicked on to approve it so that it would push the one off the bottom.
Yeah.
The last remnants on this website of your close personal friend. So I guess now you don't have to compete for that money in a will. He's gone. 567-0560, pound 560 in the Verizon Singular wireless line. The phones are very lame today, man. They're very weak. We have had a couple of sensational calls. That's what Chris told us. I haven't heard him yet. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. What do you think?
Yeah, great calls last week.
We did have great calls last week. How the hell do you know? Oh, that's right. Josh wasn't there last week. Josh was on vacation last week. He was out there in Tahoe without his rent-a-car. I don't know what you're thinking about.
What I'm thinking...
When you go to places that are that scenic and that beautiful, what do you do? Take a cab? Go on a tour? What do you do?
You don't have to. Everything's in walking distance.
The lake? The lake isn't walking distance of the casinos?
Well, I'm pretty sure I went up there to ski, so I wasn't going to the lake. Went up the mountain, you know?
Yeah.
But I wasn't really interested in going swimming or anything like that.
I'm not talking about going swimming. I'm just talking about seeing the sights and taking some pictures.
I could see everything up on the mountain.
Okay.
I could see the lake.
You're a hard ass. That's what it boils down to. I sure hope your Russian girlfriend drinks lots and lots of that cheap vodka, man. She'll need it. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil. Hi, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I got a question for you. I was driving up Sunrise Boulevard, and I turned onto Flamingo. So I was going towards 595. And there's a Sunrise Beach cop there, Sunrise Police.
Yeah.
But get in my car, he's got his trunk open, so you can't see anything about the car. And he's there with a radar gun, just pulling people over, like, to the side of the road, you know. I thought he had to recalibrate his gun. He's like entrapment, you know. He's just hiding his car.
Yeah, slow down, pal. Slow down, like that's something new. Give me a break. Oh, a bastion of absolute misery, South Florida. A vacuum of human anything. Brother. And like I said, the sun is shining. Yeah, it's cold. It's 36, whatever the hell it is. It's going to be 40 today. But you know something? Not that there's any such thing as global warming. But it was, you know what it was yesterday in Washington, D.C.? It was 68. On the 18th of December, 68. And there's no snow here. None. There is zero. There's not one flake, not one drop, not one bit, not one teeny tiny centimeter, not one silly little millimeter, nothing.
I mean, the locals when I was up in Tahoe said that there was a drought. I mean, I wouldn't notice that, you know.
Not that there's anything such as global warming, you understand, just a commie pinko conspiracy from all these anti-big business liberal communistas. But you know something? Because I'll be dead by the time that you people are all suffering from the fallout of this stuff, and you're going to be like, oh, brother. Better have a good time now while you guys can, okay? Just screw your brains out.
That's right.
WQAM, hello.
It puts loose say.
WQAM, hello. QAM.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Macaca Load. And
back at you.
Hey, by the way, it's pronounced bonobos.
Oh, is it bonobo? I knew I was saying it wrong, but I don't really care. And I'm sure they don't either.
Hey, can you play the chomping sound for me?
567.
Best call of the day, I guess.
That was good. Easy to please, man. That's what we like. People who are easy to please, who will not transmit a disease. Hey, the Panthers are here at the Air Canada Center tonight to play the make-believes. What do you think? You think Goldie's going to be stopping by here for a little chat?
Oh, sure.
There's practice on HTV. You know you people are crazed with this when they're showing Leafs practice on TV. That's really sick.
Yeah,
you know, I don't want to see... Huh?
That's pretty terrible.
That's embarrassing. Let's see some old time.
Whiten, the shot, tip wide, I believe, off the waffle board of Perron into the...
There's old Gene Hart, the Philadelphia Flyers fat announcer. Another taste of Tasty Cake. Gene, he had too many, and now he's dead. Gene Hart. He was good, but now he's dead. The fat people are the good people, and the fat people are the dead people. You did see Fatso, right?
Of course, yeah.
And it was damn good. See, I'm giving you a lot of good movies.
It was very funny. It was very funny. I like that humor. It's I don't know.
Do you really? Well, that's because you're not fat, but you will be. In fact, where did I see a picture of you? Was that on our MySpace?
Oh, am I getting fat?
You looked like you puffed up like a bullfrog. Where the hell did I see that? Like a bufo toad.
Are you drunk?
No, I'm not drunk. I do not drink wine. But at any rate.
You're crazy.
Okay, where did I find it? I'm
Go
going back
ahead,
on MySpace.
My profile's there, buddy.
There he is. In fact, it says online now.
I am online now.
No, of course you are. Oh, there he is. Well, there's the picture you're in a car, but it's like from the shoulder up. But there's another picture of you on here somewhere. You look like all porked up like a cow. Fat. No, there's the picture with your lovely girlfriend, I'm assuming.
Yes.
And you don't look all that fat. Maybe just... No, look at that. Who is that? That's not you with the shades on, is it?
Who?
There's a guy with the shades in that thing there in Tampa.
Oh, no, that's not me. That's
God almighty. That was it. And look at that. She's bending over in a very, I'm sure, familiar position there. Isn't that cute? I'm not going to look at all that stuff. I want to get off that MySpace thing, okay, please. Now that I pushed that last remnant of your close personal friend off the bottom of that comment page, now that's it. Now that's the end of that. Do you believe me?
No.
Huh?
I mean, yeah.
Why don't you believe me? Why don't you think I'm trying to emancipate myself from a very humiliating, degrading, and disturbing experience? Why don't you believe that?
Well, I would, other than the fact that you're still on it today and, talking about it. So, yeah,
Well, it's MySpace, man.
That's right.
I've talked about Harry on MySpace and your MySpace thing there. All that stuff on there. All our good friends.
It's a craze, man. We can't help it.
Is that what it is? I don't want any part of it. Craze is the word with a Y at the end, man. It drove me crazy. And, of course, I'm using my regular email for my close personal friend in Dade County, and he got me out of it. 3 o'clock in the morning. And you know something? It didn't disturb me at all. It woke me up. I don't know what he was thinking about at that hour. Maybe he was really depressed. Maybe he just came in from a wild night out carousing and doing all kinds of hot stuff. Who knows? But there it was. It was like a counselor coming in, like a priest. Well, not a priest. That's getting carried away. And in the wee hours of the morning, I all of a sudden woke up with a start. I grabbed that BlackBerry and I started tapping and typing, and we exchanged some fantastic life-enhancing messages. How do you like that?
Well, that's good.
It was good. Good person. A human being with emotions and nerve endings. 26 past noon at 560 WQM, your BS station for
the biggest names of best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Neil Yard.
Britney saw your crotch. Britney saw your crotch. Britney saw your crotch. We saw a photo of your honey pot. Britney saw your crotch. Britney saw your crotch. Britney saw your crotch, and Santa saw the camel toe you got. I really wish you'd wear pants this Christmas, so you don't look like a tramp this Christmas. I hope you plan wearing pants this Christmas when you spread your legs apart.
12:32 at 560 WQAM. Everybody's getting all kinds of stuff for the holidays, man. First it's Miss USA, and then it's Britney with her crotch and all this other crap. I just got an email from my close friend in Dade County, who is not bringing his girlfriend up, by the way, when he comes up here in the end of next month. That was the good news.
So is that another lunch for you?
It is another lunch, as a matter of fact. I just got through writing those words. They're not even dry on the email yet.
Wow.
How do you like that? It must be your psychic powers. What are you talking about? You are really... I'm telling you, I'm not even going to go into it. That's right. I got a replacement lunch date for the day I come home. Isn't that good? Because I'm pretty sure the first one ain't going to show up.
Pretty sure?
No, I'm not really positive. You never know with bizarre people. But anyway, this is, in fact, are you on the MySpace thing? Go back onto MySpace.
Okay, what?
See, that's the frightening thing to me. I don't like that. You know, it's like if everybody in the world could read your email. I mean, it's not good.
Nobody's
it's like a communal thing.
Calm down.
Huh?
Nobody's reading your email.
No, you know what I'm talking about. Well, you're not going to be able to because if you go on, click the mail thing on the MySpace page.
The mail thing?
Mail. You know where it says mail? You know, you're 23 years old. I'm a 64-year-old.
Look, it's either the message or the comment. The message? Is that what you're talking about? If you want to write a message to somebody, the private one?
No. Let me go to the page now. You see where Don Corleone is there?
Yeah, I see Don Corleone.
Okay. And you click on mail, where it's next to where it says film. You click on mail, and you go to our mailbox.
Okay, I got you.
And you see the picture E.T. there?
Well, I'm going to get my mail. I'm not going to get yours.
Oh, in other words, it's not communal with that one in there?
No.
Oh, and only Miguel. Well, that's good. So in other words, mind your own damn business. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Verizon Singular Wireless line.
Calling Miguel right now.
Yeah, call up Miguel and make sure that there's nothing there. It just says you have a message on your Hotmail is all it says. I'm not communicating with anybody on MySpace except my buddy Harry in Detroit. When we get ready for our backgammon tournament. 567-0560, pound 560 in the Verizon Singular Wireless line. Attacks in Iraq on U.S.-led forces. Local security personnel and civilians have surged 22% to record levels, the Pentagon said in its latest quarterly report in Iraq published yesterday. The report also noted a rise in civilian casualties, said this was directly linked to the rise of sectarian death squads, which were held by elements of Iraqi forces. What's the death toll? Is it in here for U.S. troops? 29-something. I forget what it was. Over 2,900. We're getting close to 3,000. Is that number going to do it for the American public? I don't think there's any number that'll do it. Just like Vietnam, when it was 58,000. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Verizon Singular Wireless line. WQAM, hello.
Neil, you should write a script for the past couple of weeks and call it The Last Temptation of Neil God.
Yeah. That sounded like Harry from Detroit, when you come right down to it. It sounded not quite as boring or old. I wonder who Harry's chasing around on MySpace. Maybe we'll see Harry, like I said, on Dateline. You never know. 567-0560, pound 560 in the Verizon Singular Wireless lines. I think it's a good thing I got my pile here for the rest of the show. Because that's one thing I've learned, especially this time of the year during these holidays. Don't count on any calls, Now, forget about good ones. Don't count on any calls. And what about the Heat and Allen Iverson? And Pat Riley says, we're not in the running. How do you like that? After those idiotic calls we had yesterday, trying to give us a bum steer. Remember those?
Yes.
How could we forget? All these silly-ass bandwagon jumpers. WQAM, hello.
Eddie K rhymes with GA.
Hello. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Good afternoon, Neil.
Good afternoon, sir.
I have a suggestion for the poll.
Yes?
Something I'm really embarrassed about.
Uh-huh.
I have a foot fetish, so I don't know how you'd wear it or word it.
Feet. Yeah.
Very good. What else? I like the calls. Great show. What else? I think that's it.
That's it. I think that's about it. Okay, have a great life, pal. That's it. Just double-checking just to make sure he didn't leave nothing out. He loves feet, okay? I love feet. I like feet, but I don't love feet. Like in that scene in Fatso where he says, you love bread. I like bread, but you love bread. Too much bread. Too much bread, June. That is a great movie. Anybody wants to see a good movie, get a few belly laughs. And it also will probably keep you from eating all that extra crap on the holidays.
Get the honey, Junior.
Fatso. With Anne Bancroft and Dom DeLuise.
I love bread. I'm a big fan.
I could live without it. It's one of those things as a diabetic that I must not eat. The only
now, do you do it anyway?
The only thing I go off of that is when I go in a really good Italian restaurant and they bring you like the Rio with a basket of warm bread with like garlic butter. Oh, it just melts my heart. Well, you know me. In fact, I should be like a little puddle now because lately my heart has been melting so much. It just melts. That Italian bread. In fact, and when I take off for next couple of years, I'm going to go right to Rome and go to my favorite trattoria and just eat myself to death. I think it's a good plan. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Chris Wells is still a superstar.
Yeah, okay, good. WQAM, hello. God, are you people stupid? It's just amazing to me. QAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, this is Jacques. I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Thank you for the entertainment. And if possible, can you tell me where you get all the material that you read, period? Is it internet, the
off the
newspaper?
internet, right off the internet.
Internet. Which website or where or anything in
A whole bunch
particular?
of them, Jock. Have a great holiday, man. Have a great holiday. Whole bunch of them. A little bit over here, a little bit
read
over
those
there.
wondrful stories. It tells you.
Yeah,
where
read
they
all
come
those
from.
great bedtime stories on neilrogers.com. I don't think Jacques has a computer based on what he was asking me there. Otherwise, he would probably know such things. 1,237 votes on the poll. We're going to do 15 today, not. What are we going to do, 14? I think we can go for 14 again. See, it was too late that we got started with this thing with now the polls have been coming in really good from the audience. I like that one for tomorrow. Even you liked it.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm not going to tell them what it is yet.
Not even
and
a
I
teaser.
did, in fact, huh? Well, yeah, we don't want to tip our hand too soon because then they'll be calling in with suggestions for tomorrow's poll, and then it's a pain in the ass, you know. Never do that. It's like when we used to do those stupid building polls, and I'd tell them like at 1 o'clock, and a whole last hour they're like building for the poll that was going to be on tomorrow. Well, then what do you do tomorrow? You know what I'm saying? What do you do tomorrow? Who do you do tomorrow? All of that stuff. 21 till 1. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Yesterday's show went flying by, and today I feel like I've been here for about 100 years. Maybe it's because, I was awakened in the middle of the night. Just a joke. It's just a joke. It was very positive, and it was like part of the Christmas season, you think?
No.
You think the Christmas season was the reason that I'm sitting here coughing and wheezing? But I'm pleasing the audience with a really fabulous show. Oh, God, what is this man talking about? I think it would be good if I went into total dementia right on the air. Wouldn't that be fun? We get a 95 share. Everybody, there'd be like a daisy chain going. Everybody be on their phone, Myspace, their Hotmail. Oh, the old man's lost it. He's gone nuts here on the air today. Wouldn't that be good?
Yeah.
For a while there, I thought that was going to happen, and it probably will eventually, but not as soon. In fact, I got to get on the phone at 2 and make sure I make those changes to my will, Josh.
That's right.
20 till 1 at 560. And, of course, by the time I croak, seriously, I want you to stop and think about this. It's a nice amount. But by the time I croak, well, let's say I make it another 20 years, which maybe I will, maybe I won't. My parents both lived to over 90. So let's say I'm around another 20. You'll be like 43. Well, that's still, you'll be hitched with a family. Right?
Okay.
No?
Yeah, probably, I guess.
Couple of kids running around, couple of dogs.
Couple of wives.
So what's 50 grand going to mean to you? And do you know how much that's going to be worth in 20 years? But about 30, man. About 30 cents.
All right, make it 100. Listen, I know.
Oh.
Do what you got to do.
Are you interrupting my spot now?
So sorry.
See, I think Mattie Bell may be reconsidering that offer. So they were not too happy yesterday, huh? Good. Anything that we did on this side of the building that pisses them off and aggravates them, they deserve it because they had no business going after your ass, okay? They had no business trying to, invade this show, this station. Take your Power 96, Greg. Stick that crack music you're playing up where the moon don't shine, okay, Greg? You jackass.
Want a lollipop, little boy?
No.
Oh, yeah, I got that something. I'm achy in my gland. Yeah, you, a naked boy, and I'm your Nambler man. Oh. Yeah, I'm your Nambler man. Yeah, I'm your Nambler man. They seem so sweet to me with their firm little cans.
Rectum.
Little boys need to be with me. 'Cause I'm a Nambler man.
You fair.
Yeah, I'm a Nambler man. Yeah, I'm a Nambler man. Hey, little kid, I'll give you candy and a ride. You can sit on my lap and I will let you drive, let you drive, let you drive. Shake your muffin when you wear your little pants. Don't tell a little secret, 'cause I'm your Nambler man. Yeah, I'm your Nambler man. Yeah, I'm your Nambler man. And when I shower, I'll invite you inside. And when I touch your little parts, I get high, I get high, I get high. Oh yeah, I got that something. I'm achy in my gland. Yeah, you, a naked boy, your Nambler man. Yeah, I'm your Nambler man.
I have no line.
Yeah, I'm your Nambler man. Yeah, I'm your Nambler man.
An executive staff member at New Life Church in Colorado Springs has resigned after admitting to sexual misconduct and other mistakes, the result of an examination of the staff's moral makeup after the ouster of senior pastor Ted Haggard, a church official said over the last weekend. Christopher Beard, who headed a ministry that trained young adults in leadership skills, stepped down Friday after admitting to a series of decisions displaying poor judgment, including one incident of sexual misconduct several years ago, said Rob Brindle, an associate pastor at the 14,000-member church. A lot of hanky-spanky going on in Reverend Ted's church, you know what?
Thank
oh,
God,
that's good. Citing confidentiality over personnel issues, Brindle would not discuss the nature of the sexual misconduct, except to say it did not involve Haggard or a minor. Beard, a New Life employee for 9 years, wasn't married at the time of the incident, but is now. Beard cannot be reached for comment. He's hiding. A lot of people hiding. After Haggard's fall in a drugs and gay sex scandal last month, the senior leadership of New Life asked its outside board of overseers to take a closer look at the spiritual character of its 200-member staff as a precaution. What a pile of manure, man. Just like that picture that Johnny G sent, Chronic Johnny G. A pile of manure. Brendel said Beard's disclosures came during a meeting with the board, which is made up of 4 pastors from other congregations, 4 Getchkis. Brendel said Beard's resignation was voluntary as another step toward making sure the disordered moral life demonstrated in Haggard's fall is excised from the church. They're exercising all of that. I bet I know what they're exercising, too.
The power of Christ compels you. 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 I'm dying over here. The power of Christ compels you.
Yeah, let's watch The Exorcist again this week if you got a strong stomach. Okay, don't mind pea soup. I don't like pea soup. You know, I'm a big soup lover. In fact, isn't tomorrow the day the soup is coming in?
That's right. The original soup man.
Now, who told us that? Duff told us that.
Duff
the original soup man from that awful show. I mean, from Seinfeld.
Great show.
But great soup, and I'm a big soup lover. And so very rarely, if I go into a restaurant for a meal, almost never will I not get soup, unless it's a restaurant where they don't serve soup, and then I get PO'd. I'm not happy about that.
I'm with you, man. I'm a big soup fan.
I am a soup lover. But if you go into a restaurant where they, like, change the soup of the day every day, and you say, what's the soup of the day? And they say, like, split pea or lentil soup.
Yeah, lentil.
Lentil. Oh, and I look at them and I go, fat, and I get up and I go racing out of the place.
Or just black bean soup. I like black beans, but just not, black beans.
You like black beans?
I can eat, like, black beans and rice.
Oh, man, mushy, nasty crap.
But black bean soup, terrible.
Any kind of bean soup, not good. Although there's some Italian bean. Well, all the Italian soups are good. I'm going to Rome right now. I'm hopping on a plane tonight, 6:30 at Pearson. I'm hopping on a plane going to Roma. Andiamo a Roma is where we're going. That's right. Anyway, can I get back to the story and stop with the food again? We've been very much food intensive today. Did you guys get food today or what?
Oh, yeah, we got Howie's earlier this morning.
Now, is Chris are you indoctrinating him well, since he's going to obviously be your successor to the notion that, one of the benefits, along with the low pay, is at least free meals?
I'm showing him the ropes.
Good. I bet you are. Brendel said Beard's resignation was voluntary. Oh, I just read that. We recognize there will be increased scrutiny of our church in the wake of the scandal, he said. We welcome that process in order to reinforce the high standard of personal integrity and morality that has characterized New Life's employees for 20 years. They're all a bunch of perverts, only they're hypocrites and liars, okay? I'm a pervert, but I'm proud of it, and I'll be glad to tell you that right here and right now, okay? And anybody who lies to you and says that they're not a pervert is full of crap, especially guys. Do you know any guy who's not a pervert?
No.
Of course not. There's no such person. No such person. Even Robert Grieper this morning, I'm talking on the Kenny and Bo show about his blow-up doll. That was a little over the top. Robert, if I told you once, I told you times. Cut the crap. 5670560, pound 560. You notice how these phones have just dwindled down to virtually nothingness?
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that because of the holidays or because I'm back taking calls for like 3 weeks now and they've just run out of material? Or maybe both of these
all of these things.
That could be it. They're pretty weak. WQAM, hello.
Hey, is he showing him the soap on the rope? Don't bend over.
WQAM, hello. QAM. Oh, look at that. This box is doing funky things, too. 1,258 votes on the poll. I think we got a real shot at that 1,400 during the show today. If the audience wakes up and insists that... Of course, they're all busy out shopping and going crazy now. from now until the end of the week, it's going to be absolute hell. I'm thinking maybe next 3 days while you guys are enjoying your soup, maybe I'll have some black bean soup cooking in the kitchen. Boy, I wouldn't even be in the same. When I'm eating dinner with somebody, or like fish, like salmon or something, I'd never say anything, but I'm thinking, oh, why did you? Because I can't stand the smell of it, the stench of that nasty, rotting fish.
Whatever.
You're a fish eater? No comment. I don't need to hear about it. WQAM, hello.
Hi,
WQAM, hello.
Check yourself, Jeff.
Oh, man. What did I tell you? WQAM, I'm just checking. There might be a really good caller out there. I sure doubt it. QAM, hello.
Yo, Uncle Neil, what's up, baby?
Yes, sir.
Hey, three quick things. You'll never find a brother stranded on a mountain looking for help.
Yeah.
Second thing is, I think we should have a poll for ugliest celebrity spouses. And the third thing is that guy that did you wrong on MySpace, that might be Charlie Chris. One love.
It could be. Or maybe one of Charlie's boyfriends. Like that. Done me wrong. I've been harmed and wounded and et cetera. But whatever. Life goes on. 1,261 votes, and you know what? I'm all over. There she is. She's looked real good there now. Your girlfriend, Tara.
Oh, I'm back on.
She looks good there, too. See, she's very photogenic.
Damn right.
But when you see her live, look at those bazoombas, man. Look at that. Talk about climbing the old mountain. See, there she don't look about it. When she's got that puffed up cheek, man, too much makeup, I think.
What are you talking about?
She had a puffed up cheek. I saw it on her
rectum
face.
The umbrella picture?
I don't know. You're paying much more attention than I am, obviously.
Listen, just stop it, okay? She's gorgeous.
She's a knockout. She's beautiful. If I were of your persuasion, I'd be like climbing all over the TV set right now. I'd be grabbing both kneecaps or whatever I could, and that's it. But I'm not.
Listen,
and there's Donald again with that purple hair.
I hope I run into her and I'll offer her some
cocaine. You would run into her. Oops, excuse me. Yeah. Probably knock her down and then just fall right down on top of her. Oh, gee, what a klutz I am, Old friend of mine showed me how that works like in the convenience store. I never had the cojones to do that because I'm not that desperate, number one, and number two, it's just so rude, You pretend you're tripping and there's somebody good standing at the checkout counter like, oops, and of course this was some guy. Can you just imagine that?
No.
And maybe the guy's wearing like a suede jacket or something. You say, oh, can that be felt? Like that. Yeah. Perverts. Everybody's a pervert, but most people are liars and they're full of crap, especially the ones that are always pointing the fingers. Hey, you're a pervert. Yeah, right. Go look in the mirror, okay, you closet queens. Go look in the mirror. And stop with the obsession, man, with the self-hating. Some people go through their entire lives, and their whole life is nothing but self-hate. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Now, there are many people like that. They go through their entire life, and their whole life is spent in releasing their self-hate and, of course, directing that negative energy toward other people. Whatever that means. Boy, we're getting really deep and philosophical lately, aren't we?
Sort of.
You all you care about is the money. That's all you want. You just want money.
Yeah, man. That's what it's all about.
If George would have just bought you that big, that's right. You're the one that's got it. You're supposed to buy it for him. When I leave you all the money in the world, you have to promise you'll buy George that big screen Sanyo.
That's definitely going to be 100 then, because that's
Samsung. Did I say Sanyo? Samsung.
Okay.
Who else told me they had a Samsung big screen? It was just fabulous. I called her the other day. Remember that?
Remember Hank has one, too.
And the Humper's got one. That's right.
That was funny.
And of course, he's probably sitting on that fat ass eating food while he's watching that big screen TV. Lose some weight, Hank, for the holidays, okay? No, it's not easy. Take some of that Hanukkah gelt, fly out to Vegas, run around the mountains, squat up there on a rock in the what is that place? Red Rock Canyon. Okay, wouldn't have that.
Isn't Red Rock in Colorado?
You're asking me like look. Well, see, there you go, starting again.
I'm just saying.
I just finally exercised that last picture off our MySpace page. I'm finally getting over the wound and the harm and the hurt and the negativity to my
here.
And you're starting about Red Rock Canyon again.
You're correct, Neil. It's Nevada.
It's near Vegas. I know that. My good close buddy told me that.
Hey, Quinn. I like to shave my legs, arms, and buns while listening to the Neil Rogers 1 to 2 hour.
All right.
You're not getting squat for Christmas. There's no gifts that Santa leaves. No Jesus birthday presents just because you don't believe. You have your potato latkes with your cheap toys that
the Smiths have a Christmas tree down the street. Well, let me tell you, Yitzchak, that's because the Smiths are goyim. We have 1,275 votes on the poll. We're not going to make 1,400 a day. No chance. I mean, we got a chance, but it's pretty unlikely, I would say. And that's because as the time has worn on, more and more of these schleppers are out there. They're schlepping around, they're buying, they're grabbing everything.
I got to do something. I got to start making a move here.
Well, you know, that's one good thing about me. I don't have to buy anything for anybody, for Christmas or Hanukkah or any of that. I don't have to participate.
Well, good for you.
Not because I'm cheap or inconsiderate or like that. I just don't get involved in this crap. Well, what do you mean by that? That was kind of like sarcastic, you know, like I'm an evil guy. That makes me cheap or something?
No, that makes a lot
Like
less
I said, about
stress
15 grand
for
for you and that will, I'm thinking. About 15 cents.
Stop it now.
Santa Claus is Chinese. Or Why China is Rising and the U.S. is Declining by Lester Brown. I wonder if he's kin to like Brownie Brown. Or maybe Bobby Brown. I want to play Bobby Brown, at least just a little bit. Because I've never let it reach that point where we got like, George has the bad groups in here.
I'm Bobby Brown.
That's enough. Anyway, it says, I know Santa Claus is Chinese because each Christmas morning after all the gifts are unwrapped and things settle down, I systematically go through the presents to see where they're made. The results are almost always the same. Roughly 70% are from China. After some research, it seems that my one family survey is representative of the country as a whole. Let's start with toys. Some 80% of the toys sold in the U.S., from Barbie dolls to video games, are made in China. Talking toys that speak English learn the language from Chinese workers. Electronic goods from Apple's iPod to Microsoft's Xbox, made in China. Clothing from the latest cashmere sweaters to gym suits, oh, that looks good, can that be felt, is also likely to have a made in China label. The Christmas tree itself may come from China. While real Christmas trees are grown in every state in the U.S. and marketed locally, many families now gather around artificial Christmas trees. 8 out of every 10 artificial Christmas trees sold in the U.S. are made in China. Last year, Americans spent over $130 million on plastic Christmas trees from China. This year, Americans will spend over $1 billion on Christmas ornaments from China, and perhaps the greatest irony of all, even nativity scenes are made in China. Last year, Americans spent more than $39 million buying nativity scenes shipped in from the East. China's success in attracting foreign investment capital and mobilizing this huge workforce has made it the workshop of the world. That the U.S. Christmas is made in China is a metaphor for a far deeper set of economic issues affecting the U.S. Today, Christmas is celebrated in both the U.S. and China, but for different reasons and with far different economic consequences. For the Chinese, the manufacturing bonanza means record profits, rising incomes, and in a society where people save some 40% of their income, a sharp jump in savings. In the U.S., Christmas shopping expenditures, headed for another record high this year, contribute to rising credit card debt and a soaring trade deficit. Underneath the American Christmas spirit and good cheer is a debt-laden society that appears to have lost its way, marred in the quicksand of consumerism. As a society, we seem to have forgotten how to save so we can invest in a better future. Instead of leaving our children a promising economic future, we're bequeathing them the largest debt burden of any generation in history. At the personal level, credit card debt just keeps climbing, and at the government level, we have the largest deficit in history. At the international level, we have a trade deficit that moves to a new high month after month. It's not the fact that our Christmas is made in China, but rather the mindset that's led to it is most disturbing. We want to consume no matter what. We want to spend now and let our children pay. It's the same mindset that introduces tax cuts while waging a costly war. Economic sacrifice is no longer part of our vocabulary. After the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, President Roosevelt banned the sale of private cars in order to mobilize the manufacturing capacity and engineering skills of the U.S. automobile industry to build tanks and planes. In contrast, after 9/11, President Bush urged us to go shopping. In the U.S., we're so intent on consuming that personal savings have virtually disappeared. We have an average of 5 credit cards for every man, woman, and child. Of the 145 million cardholders, only 55 million clear their accounts every month. The other 90 million can't seem to catch up and are paying steep interest rates on the remaining balance. Millions of people are so deeply in debt that they may remain indebted for life. The official national debt, the product of years of fiscal deficits, now totals $8.5 trillion, some $64,000 per taxpayer. By the end of the Bush administration in 2008, this figure is projected to reach a staggering $9.4 trillion. We're digging a fiscal black hole and sinking deeper and deeper into it. Each month, the Treasury covers the fiscal deficit by auctioning off securities. The two leading international buyers of U.S. Treasury securities are Japan and China. In this world, China is now also becoming our banker. This developing country, where income levels are 1/6 of those of the U.S., is financing the excesses of an affluent industrial society. What's wrong with this picture? In times past, when our fiscal deficits were covered largely by U.S. leaders, interest payments on the debt were reinvested in the U.S. Now they're flowing abroad to Japan, China, other foreign holders of U.S. debt. While the U.S. fiscal deficit, driven partly by the war in Iraq, soars to stratospheric levels, the country is facing an unprecedented fiscal challenge as the baby boomer generation retires, pushing up the cost of Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare. This, combined with the growing interest payments on our debt to China and other countries, will put a nearly impossible tax burden on the next generation, something for which they may never forgive us. The U.S. trade deficit is growing by leaps and bounds, nearly doubling from $452 billion in 2000 to an estimated $850 billion in 2006. Rising oil imports and the trade deficit with China account for over half of it. National policy failures, such as not adequately supporting the use of renewable energy technologies, have contributed to the growing U.S. trade deficit. For example, the U.S. should be a leading manufacturer and exporter of solar cells and wind turbines, but it's fallen behind both Europe and Japan. The solar cell, invented at Bell Labs in 1954 as an American technology, but the U.S. effort to develop solar energy was so weak and sporadic that both Germany and Japan forged ahead and developed robust solar cell manufacturing and export industries. The situation is similar with wind. Although the modern wind industry was born in California at the beginning of the 80s, the U.S. failure to sustain support for wind resource development allowed European countries to largely take over this industry. Even though rising oil imports are widening our trade deficit, we consume oil with abandon, weakening the economy, undermining our political independence. We've lost influence in world financial markets simply because of our mounting debt, much of it held by other countries. If China's leaders ever become convinced that the dollar is headed continuously downward and they decide to dump their dollar holdings, the dollar could collapse. Could collapse.
Oh, my God.
Beholden to other countries for oil and to finance our debt, the U.S. is fast losing its leadership role in the world. The question we are facing is not simply whether our Christmas is made in China, but more fundamentally whether we can restore the discipline and values that made us a great nation, a nation the world admired, respected, and emulated. This isn't something that Santa Claus can deliver, not even a Chinese Santa Claus. This is something only we can do. Not even a Chinese Santa Claus. That's bad. You think the Chinese... Now, the Chinese, of course, don't celebrate Christmas because they're Buddhists, right?
Right.
They're not...
Most of them, anyway.
There's probably a few goyim over there in China, and if they got a Christmas tree, got a bang, baby, that's the end of that. Won't see them no mo. No mo.
Doi, 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 doi.
Wonder how he's doing. We don't hear a damn thing about him. I guess he hasn't made the big splash there on 850 yet, has he?
Oh, we'll see when the numbers.
When the big numbers come out tomorrow morning. We got numbers coming out tomorrow morning. Everybody could always use a good number. Words to live by. Trust me when I tell you. Got the Panthers and the Leafs tonight at the Air Canada Center. Anybody in this audience give a flying about that? Now, what do you say? I bet you, I wouldn't be surprised if Geldy shows up here knocking on my door at 5 o'clock saying, let's go over to Ruth Chris and grab a big steak. I'll buy you dinner before the game. You think?
Spread 'em and say cheese.
Randolph the brown-nosed reindeer always wound up last in line. That's how he got a brown nose, following too close behind.
Rectum.
All of the other reindeer love to make him cough and sneeze. They all would stop abruptly, then one of them would cut the cheese. One day Randolph got fed up. He said, this job stinks. Find yourself a new caboose. He gave them all a Christmas goose. Santa and all the reindeer, they began to shout and plead. Randolph the brown-nosed reindeer, you should try proctology.
You know, it just dawned on me, we got a great bit, and I have no idea where it is. Walking around in women's underwear. Remember that?
Yeah, it's a good one.
And where is it? I don't think we got it. Oh, no, that's going to be so... See, if I wouldn't have mentioned it, I'd have been better off, you know. Oh, here it is. How do you like that? What a genius, man. What, the old man still got it. Not much. He got a little bit left. I would say...
About 30, man.
Yeah.
Basic things the wife is missing. Didn't ask for her permission. I'm wearing her clothes, her silk pantyhose, walking around in women's underwear. In the store, there's a teddy with little straps like spaghetti. It holds me so tight, like handcuffs at night, walking around in women's underwear. In the office, there's a guy named Melvin. He
pretends that I am Murphy Brown. He'll say, are you ready? We'll say, whoa, man. Let's wait until the wife is out of town. Later on, if you wanna, we can dress like Madonna. Put on some high shade and join the parade. Walking around in women's underwear. Lacy things missing. Didn't ask permission. Wearing her clothes, silk pantyhose. Walking around in women's underwear. Walking around in women's underwear.
All right.
Walking around in women's underwear.
How do you like that, huh? 13:02 on the poll. We're not going to get to 1400. No way, Jose. And why the hell should we? On the 19th of December, in the middle of Hanukkah, and everybody out there with their last-minute Christmas shopping, running around like lunatics? That's why the phone is slim and grim. That's why even the votes are down on the poll, because people aren't sitting there by their computer staring at Harry's backgammon game on Myspace. Are they?
No.
No, they're not. 13:02 on the poll, and even Playing Slots has got a vote. Feet got one. That's from that foot fetish guy. You know, George has a foot fetish, although he denies it. When we were doing the show down there on the second floor, he denies it.
I don't remember that, but...
Well, when he comes back next week, ask him on Tuesday. Ask him, do you ever deny having a foot fetish? And he'll say that I'm a liar. Whatever, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't deny it. Every time I mention it on the air, he says, oh, you're wrong. I don't know where you come up with that. Because I don't want to go into it. Anyway, this is a long article here. Gee, I don't think I want to read the whole hour here with all those great calls coming in. WQAM, hello.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
Listen, while I follow my wife to Walmart, you're talking about products made in China. Tell me where we can actually find any products made in the United States anymore, where you go for that.
Yeah. See, when I buy something, I just care if it's good. I don't care where it's made. I mean, call me un-American, call me a communist, whatever. I just care if it's good. You know. Do you look on the back when you go buy a product? You open it up and see is it made in China?
No.
Of course not.
I don't care.
You want to know if you get your money's worth. You know, you're going to invest that $150,000 wisely when I croak. In fact, I got a better idea. What I'll do is I'll take that whole $300,000 that I was like setting aside for you guys. I'll leave it to George, and then I'll leave it up to him to take care of you.
Well, just remember to be like, hey, remember Josh.
Yeah.
With that.
Now, do you trust George to take equitable care of you when that happens?
No, you might as well just give me that 100.
Oh, okay. Frank Rich wrote, this was on Sunday in the New York Times, and it's very, very long, and I don't usually read columns, especially when the phones are starting to ring like crazy, but I'm not going to waste my time answering because I know they're going to be crap. I don't want to end this day. This has been a very fine day. In fact, it's been a fine 24 hours all the way around. What was the show like yesterday? Do you remember? It was okay, huh?
Yeah, great calls.
You're so full of it. No, it was all right. But didn't I tell you yesterday was kind of like the demarcation point? Well, once we start these last few days before Christmas, then they really start going nuts. You know, less than a week now.
Right.
Mary Cheney's Bundle of Joy, Frank Rich writes. And this will go on maybe till 2 o'clock. It's a long column. He doesn't usually write this long, and I usually don't read, but you know what? It's good. Good stuff. Good crap. He says, it's not the least of John McCain's political talents that he comes across as a paragon of straight talk, even when he isn't talking straight talk. So it was a surprise to see him reduced to near stammering on ABC's This Week 2 Sundays after the election. The subject that brought him low was the elephant in the elephant's room, or perhaps we should say in their closet, homosexuality.
You fairy!
Senator McCain is no bigot, and his only goal was to change the subject as quickly as possible. He kept repeating 2 safe talking points for dear life. He opposes same-sex marriage, as does every major presidential aspirant in both parties, and he is opposed to discrimination. But because he had endorsed a broadly written Arizona ballot initiative that could have been used to discriminate against unmarried domestic partners, George Stephanopoulos wouldn't let him off the hook. Are you against civil unions for gay couples, he asked the senator, who replied, no, I'm not. When Mr. Stephanopoulos reiterated the question seconds later, so you're for civil unions, Mr. McCain answered, no. In other words, he was not against civil unions before he was against them. His gaffe was reminiscent of a similar appearance on Mr. Stephanopoulos' show in 2004 by Bill Fist, a Harvard-trained doctor who refused to criticize a federal abstinence program that catered to the religious right by spreading the canard that sweat and tears could transmit AIDS. Senator Fist is now a lame duck, and his brand of pandering typified by his errant upbeat diagnosis of brain-dead Terry Schiavo's condition is following him to political Valhalla. The 2006 midterms left Karl Rove's supposedly foolproof playbook in tatters. It was hard for the Republicans to deal the gay card one more time after the Mark Foley and Ted Haggard scandals revealed that today's conservative hierarchy is much like Roy Cohn's milieu in Angels in America minus the wit and pathos. This time around, ballot initiatives banning same-sex marriage drew markedly less support than in 2004. The draconian one endorsed by Mr. McCain in Arizona was voted down altogether. Two national politicians who had kowtowed egregiously to their party's fringe, Rick Santorum and George Makakowicz Allen, were defeated, joining their ideological fellow travelers Tom DeLay and Ralph Reed in the political junkyard. To further confirm the inexorable march of social history, the only Christmas season miracle to lift the beleaguered Bush administration this year has been the announcement that Mary Cheney, the vice president's gay daughter, is pregnant. Her growing family is the living rejoinder to those in her father's party who would relegate gay American couples and their children to second-class legal or human status. Yet not even those political realities have entirely broken the knee-jerk habit of some 2008 Republican presidential hopefuls to woo the homophobes. Mitt Romney, the Republican Massachusetts governor, was caught in yet another embarrassing example of his party's hypocrisy last week. In a newly unearthed letter quoting the gay log-cabin Republicans during his unsuccessful 1994 Senate race, he promised to do better than even Ted Kennedy in making equality for gays and lesbians a mainstream concern. Given that Mr. Romney has been making opposition to same-sex marriage his political calling card this year, his ideological bisexuality looks as foolish in its G-rated way as that of Mr. Haggard, the evangelical leader was caught keeping time with a male prostitute. There's no evidence that Mr. Romney's rightward move on gay civil rights and abortion, about which he acknowledges his flip-flop, has helped him politically, or that Mr. McCain has benefited from a similar sea change that has taken him from accurately labeling Jerry Falwell and Pat Robertson agents of intolerance in 2000 to appearing at Mr. Falwell's Liberty University this year. A Washington Post ABC News poll last week found that among Republican voters, Rudy Giuliani, an unabashed liberal on gay civil rights and abortion, leads McCain 34 to 26%. Romney brought up the rear at 5%. That does, however, put him nominally ahead of another presidential wannabe, the religious right favorite Sam Brownback, who's held up a federal judicial nomination in the Senate because the nominee had attended a lesbian neighbor's commencement ceremony. Or commitment, whatever they call that, commitment ceremony. I think I'm going to commit to doing the break right now. Or maybe I ought to be committed, do you think?
Maybe.
1,316, we're committed to doing something between now and 2 o'clock. I guarantee that, finishing the rest of that article. And then taking, of course, zillions of really nifty calls if they ever come in, you think? No, probably not. 1316, it means we need 64 for 1,400 in 35 minutes. That's a tall order, man. What do you think?
I'm going to go with no.
Chris?
No. You're the
one
that said not to shoot too high. That was you.
That's what I'm thinking. What do you mean that was me? We're off to a stellar start.
That was
flying
you.
start,
don't
man.
shoot too high, so I'm
like
going
I said,
low
I'm
now.
thinking 1350.
Sounds good.
The flagship station.
Hi, everybody. You know the holidays are the hardest time to control your weight. That's why I've come up with a way for you to shake your bowl full of jelly with Sweatin' to the Carols. You'll be prancing to the tune of Have Yourself a Zero Meal Trip, Feel the Burn. You'll also get Squatting Around the Christmas Tree and Busting Out Your Thrills. Oh, I love it. Yes, you'll be flexing your all and power stepping through a winter wonderland of fat-burning fun. I'll eat sprouts for Christmas. You'll be ho-ho-holding in your stomach and unwrapping your thighs as you join me singing All I Want for Christmas is to touch my feet.
Richard sings Sweatin' to the Carols. Available on Paramount's home video.
Yeah, he is a one wild and crazy guy. Underline the crazy part. 131 at 560 WQM. Hey, Richard.
You fairy.
Anyway, getting back to Frank Rich's column, not to be confused with Fat Rich. For those who are cheered by seeing the Rovian politics of wedge issues start to fade, the good news doesn't end with the growing evidence that gay baiting may do candidates who traffic in it more harm than good. It's not the only centrist American voters of both parties who reject divisive demagoguery, but also conservative evangelicals themselves. Some of them are at last standing up to the extremists in their own camp. No one more dramatically so, perhaps, than Rick Warren, the Orange County, California mega-church leader and best-selling author of The Purpose-Driven Life. He has adopted AIDS in Africa as a signature crusade and invited Barack Obama to join the usual suspects, including Senator Brownback, to address his World AIDS Day conference on the issue. This prompted predictable outrage from the right because Mr. Obama's liberal politics, especially on abortion. One radio host, Kevin McCullough, demonized the Democrat for pursuing inhumane, sick, and sinister evil as a legislator. An open letter sponsored by 18 pro-life groups protested the invitation, also citing Mr. Obama's evil, but Mr. Warren didn't blink. Among those defending the invitation was David Kuo, the former deputy director of the Bush White House's Office of Faith-Based and Community Initiatives. In his book, Tempting Faith, as well as interviews and on his blog, the heretical Mr. Kuo has become a tough conservative critic of the corruption of religion by politicians and religious right leaders who are guilty of taking Jesus and reducing him to some precinct captain, to some get-out-the-vote guy. Of those family groups who criticized Mr. Obama's appearance at the AIDS conference, Mr. Kuo wrote, "Are they so blind and possessed with such a narrow definition of life that they can think of life only in utero?" The answer, of course, is yes. The Christian Coalition parted ways with its new president-elect, a Florida megachurch pastor, Joel Hunter, after he announced that he would take on bigger issues like poverty and global warming. But it is leaders like Mr. Hunter and Mr. Warren who are in ascendance. Even the Reverend Richard Cizik, Vice President for Governmental Affairs at Mr. Haggard's former perch, the National Association of Evangelicals, has joined a number of his peers in taking up the cause of the environment, putting him at odds with the Bush administration. Such religious leaders may not have given up their opposition to abortion or gay marriage, but they have more pressing priorities. They seem to have figured out, as Mr. Kuo has said, that politicians use Christian voters for their money and for their votes and give them little in return except a reputation for bigotry and heartless opposition to the life-saving potential of stem cell research. The axis of family jihadis, Focus on the Family Research Council, the American Family Association, is feeling the heat. Its positions get more extreme by the day. A Concerned Women for America mouthpiece called Mary Cheney's pregnancy unconscionable, condemning her for having injured her child and acted in a way that denies everything that the Bush administration has worked for. That last statement, thankfully, is true. This overkill reeks of desperation. So does these zealots' recent assault on the supposedly feminizing medical properties of soy baby formula, which deserves the blame for today's rise in homosexuality, according to the chairman of Megashift Ministries, and penguins. Yes, penguins. These fine birds have now joined the Teletubbies and SpongeBob SquarePants in the pantheon of cuddly secret agents for the gay agenda. Schools are being forced to defend And Tango Makes Three, an acclaimed children's picture book based on the true story of two Central Park Zoo male penguins who adopted a chick from a fertilized egg. The hit penguin movie Happy Feet has been outed for an anti-religious bias and its endorsement of gay identity by Michael Medved, the commentator who sets the tone for the religious right's strictly enforced code of cultural political correctness. Such censoriousness is increasingly the stuff of comedy. So are politicians of all stripes who advertise their faith. A liberal like Howard Dean is no more credible talking about the Bible. During the 2004 campaign, he said his favorite book in the New Testament was Job, then twice-married candidates like Mr. McCain, and persuasive at pledging allegiance to the sanctity of marriage. For all the skeptical theories about the Obama boomlet, or real boom we don't know yet, no one doubts that his language about faith is his own, not a crib sheet provided by a conservative evangelical preacher or liberal political consultant on values. That's why a Democrat from Chicago, whose voting record is to the left of Hillary Clinton's, received the same standing ovation from the thousands at Rick Warren's Saddleback Church that he did from his own party's throngs in New Hampshire. After a quarter of a century of watching politicians from both parties exploit religion for partisan and often mean-spirited political gain, voters on all sides of this country's culture wars are finally in the market for something new. Frank Rich, that's a lengthy but a good column in Sunday's New York Times. Mary Cheney's bundle of joy. Barack Obama's the man. I'm the first guy that told you that. Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
Weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks ago?
That.
He the man. You don't believe me, do you? You don't think he can get elected because he's black. Isn't that what you're going to tell me?
No, that's not what I was going to tell you.
What are you going to tell me?
I don't think he's going to get elected.
Why not?
Not because he's black. I don't know. Don't see
He is the man. Trust me when I tell you right now. He's the rock star. He's the great dark hope. He's the great something new, man. He's not one of these old political hacks. Old political hacks. All the hacks all the time. It's enough to make you want to play Hack the Wife. How's O.J. doing by the holidays? Maybe O.J. will come by for lunch. What do you think? I know that Greg Reed and Mattie Bell would be thrilled if O.J. would come by the Power 96 studios and have lunch with them over there. All these jock-sniffing lunatics, man. All you jock-sniffers out there, get a life, okay? Unless it's Brady Quinn or Tom Brady's jock you're sniffing, get a life. Who won that game last night, by the way? I went to bed.
Indianapolis. Huge.
Oh, no. Yeah, they were winning when I went to bed. And what the hell were they talking about this morning? Who's getting more action, Peyton Manning or what's that goofy brother of his with the Giants? Eli Manning? Eli's coming? Who's getting more action? Or how about Sandy Peyton? I mean, anybody who... what are we talking about here? Peyton Manning? You fairy. Give me a break. Of course, we don't know what action they were talking about, but nevertheless, all the hot chicks. Peyton Manning's getting the hot chicks. or something that rhymes with that. 1,328 votes on the poll. I hate to admit, and there's nothing wrong with this poll, is there?
No.
But it's back up over 15% hated. During the middle of the holidays, baby, this is an indictment of South Florida that's not to be believed. We may not even make our 1350 today. Because I think once they kind of like robbed the cobwebs out of their eyes, everybody's not at work or whatever, they all were, they're in their cars, they're schlepping, they're at the malls, they're doing all this crazy stuff. We got 1328. That's not so great in the Sunshine State, is it? And you were saying, let's get 1,500 a day. Isn't that what you were saying before?
No, I said no because...
You said 15,000 easy.
That's
when you were talking about the will. And then you said, how about doubling it to 30 and then adding 20 more from 50? 50 sounds like a nice number for somebody.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
I'm leaving 50 grand to my buddy Macy, my new therapist. Good guy.
Listen, call me after the show. I'll help you out through this too.
Help you out with what?
I'll help you out, man.
You're the one that was giving me crap before, wasn't he, Chris? Giving me crap about I'm still talking about the same old bop. Didn't he say that?
I think he was doing it in a loving way. He's worried about you.
See, he knows what's up.
What are you holding up, a 20 for him?
30.
I hate to admit that I love porn, 380. I don't know what kind of people voted for that. That to me is so inane. Why is that? Are you embarrassed that you... Well, what's wrong with that? What's not to like?
Josh.
I don't know.
Josh voted for that. Why are you embarrassed to admit that?
I'm not embarrassed. I don't know.
Well, that's what the poll said. I hate to admit it.
Well, I voted last night.
Admit it. Admit it.
Admit what?
You love porn.
Of course.
Okay. I hate this poll. 204, 15.3%. Neil Rogers, 157. Antiques Roadshow, 108. We still don't know what that is, and I don't want to know. I don't want to hear about it. Now, that's not on, what is that on? It's not on A&E, is it, please?
PBS.
Oh, my. PBS is putting direct like that on here, the Antiques Roadshow?
That's right.
Oh, my God. There is no God. I'll tell you that right now. There's no God. There's only...
Neil, God!
Talk Radio, 97. They hate to admit they love it. Vanilla Ice Cream, 88. Carpenter, 75. Dog the Bounty Hunter, 71. No comment. Musicals, 50. The Food Channel, 27. Neil Sedaka, 18. Home and Garden Shows, 13. MySpace, 13. Be very, very wary. That's all I'm going to tell you right now, okay? Be very careful. Road Rage, 11. Cottage Cheese, 7. Country Music, 7. Feet, 4. And Playing Slots, a pair now. We got two people. They love the slots, but they hate to admit it because Josh says that only old farts, old terminal fogies like me play slot machines. And then, of course, Harry from Detroit says, hey, if you really were a hell of a guy, you'd be out playing golf and be the Tiger Woods of a backgammon. I mean, I think I've also made a mistake by encouraging people on the MySpace, although we're not getting a lot, thank goodness. But I'm in the habit now of reading the mail that we get from the MySpace from our friends out there on that thing.
You're hooked, man.
No, I'm not. I'm the least bit hooked. I just feel if somebody's going to take the time to write some crap, and once in a while, like in Harry's case, it makes some good material, He don't seem to mind it. He doesn't care. It's not going to affect his life. He's still out there chasing them hot young guys. I mean, whatever he's doing. 1,341. I think we got a real shot at 1,342 today. 1,340, whatever the hell it might be.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers.
Jason, you're on QM.
We don't have any National Guardsmen because they're all fighting a war in Iraq right now.
Not the National Guard.
Pardon?
Not the National Guard.
No National Guard in Iraq?
Not. There's no National Guard. No.
Absolutely.
It's been brought to my attention that your ratings are dying now. Well, that ought to show you what a big asset I was to you, and how. You thought you could find somebody good enough to fill my baggy pants? It ain't easy. There ain't no chance I'll ever be coming back. Outside of considering a lucrative contract. If you want to know what'll save you from shutting that transmitter down, why, that's easy. Sure.
All you need is more. All you need is more. All you need is a show.
A year-old time slot only got you today. Despite that, my ratings have bottomed out in the tank. Which radio has a revolving door for the gayest of all whores and squeaky
hide away something.
Yes?
Jack told me to give you this.
What?
See? What are you going to do, fire me, huh?
Like old times.
1402 at 560 WQM. We got the Mad Dog coming up at 2 o'clock. Please tell me that he's going to be on at 2 and that I'm not promoting him all day and going to find out that it's going to be somebody else. They've done that to me so many times. Clarence, you're an idiot.
No, he's on.
He is on. Thank God for that.
All right.
Everything is okay. It's
all right.
And then we got the Power Hour with the Humper and the Mad Dog together 4 to 5. A brilliant idea by yours truly, if I say so myself. And then the Humper solo. No, I was thinking, how about, you better tell Hank, next time he goes out to Vegas, we'll send a camera crew, and we want to take the picture of Hank squatting on that big boulder in the Red Rock Canyon. Don't you think just climbing up on that baby and hunching there for a while? I got a hunch he might work off a couple of calories. You think?
No.
7 o'clock, it's Panthers preview. 7:30, the Panthers take on the Toronto Make-Believes at the Air Canada Centre. And Eddie K follows the hockey game. Last week for Eddie K, and there was nobody giving us any updates. So evidently, there either is no news or it's no news is good news. I don't know what the deal is. They keep us in the dark, you know. They tell us nothing. WQAM, hello. There's one of the better ones. I told you we'd have some good ones. Good sounding dial tone, by the way. WQAM, hello. Ba. WQAM, hello.
Bye.
QAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, buddy. Good to talk to you.
Yes, it is.
I'm actually in Toronto. We're up for the Panther game tonight.
Really?
Absolutely.
I'll be there.
And I was wondering, would it be possible to come by and see you during one of the intermissions or something?
You think I'm going to be at the game tonight?
Well, I was assuming that you're going to be at the Leafs game tonight.
No. No chance.
Not a chance.
Well, why would I be at the Leaf game? I don't go to any games. I watch them on TV in my big screen TV and high definition.
I just assumed that you were a season ticket holder like you were when you lived down in Florida.
Season ticket holder? You got to be. You know how much the tickets cost at the Air Canada Centre? Even a zillionaire like me can't afford that crap. I'm just not really crazy about the ambiance in that building. I don't know if you've ever been in there before, but it's nothing like Maple Leaf Gardens. It's a very, I don't know. I'm just not crazy about the Air Canada Centre.
No, this is actually our first time here. We're on a whirlwind trip. We actually saw them in Boston a couple nights ago, the Panthers, and then we saw the Dolphins get smacked in Buffalo, and then we're up here for the Panthers and Maple Leaf.
Boy, you're sure making the rounds, man. You're doing it. Not too bad of a day for you, eh?
No, not at all. It's maybe 45, something like that.
45. Boy, you're driving about 40.
we're at the Western Harbor, so it's not too bad.
It is 40. In fact, what a good guess. I just looked on City Pulse. It's exactly 40 degrees, 45 tomorrow. So we gave you some really fine Toronto weather, eh?
Yeah, it was a little brisk last night, but not too bad. Not too bad.
There's nothing like a little brisk, especially in the middle of Hanukkah. Well, listen, have a great time, and go Leafs go. And say hi to Geldy. Throw Geldy a big wet one for me.
I'll do that for you, Neil.
Good luck, pal. I'll see you around.
Love you, buddy.
Okay, there's the guy who's staying at the Western Harbor in downtown Toronto. Are you impressed about it? That's exciting, isn't it?
No.
Well, it is to me. What is wrong with you, man? You're starting to get like George. Chris, do not be like Josh, okay? Don't emulate him.
I'll do my best.
Do your best to try to be a little more, just lie about it. It's radio. They don't know whether you're excited or not. For all they know, you're sitting there like a bump on a log.
All those people in Toronto are excited right now.
Meaning what?
All those people listening in Toronto.
I got people listening in Toronto, okay? I've got people online listening in Toronto. Don't you think we have a lot of people listening online just about anywhere you might say? I wouldn't be surprised if we got in Canandaigua, New York, we got somebody listening. I hope not. Who the hell wants that? I'll go him there. 1,360 votes on the poll. 1360 WKAT. My first job in Miami. Happy Chinooka to my good buddy Sid Levin. Hope everything is good with him. See, I'm starting to get like, nostalgic in my old age. In fact, you've been only on the show for 2 years, but you see that you can probably sense the difference already, where I used to be like more kind of like
rock solid.
And now I'm like an old emotional cripple, in my doddering old years. Don't you feel that?
Well, you've been affected lately.
Infected. I think I've been, and I think it was infected. So, they always talk about those viruses online. I think on MySpace there's a virus on there. I think there was a virus that got into my computer, into my system, into my brain, what used to be a brain. But I'm fine now. You believe me?
No.
Yeah, I don't know why you say that.
I'm just kidding.
No, you're not. You're not kidding at all.
I am.
If you were within walking distance, you'd probably come up here with a butterfly net. You'd probably bring the guys with the white suit. and believe me, a few days ago it would have been appropriate. I would have surrendered immediately. There are things that happen to all of us in life, and we can't explain them. We don't know why we feel a certain way about things, about people, about life, about whatever the hell it is. All of these things. And it's just crap happens, man. I mean, I'm human. I know that comes as a great surprise. All these people, well, we're seeing the real side of Neil now. He's like, yeah, I'm human.
I like the comment that it brought you down to their level. That's
that was the Joe. That was Jacob's old neighbor there. I got the email right here for some strange reason. And it says, it was a side of him that's never been witnessed and one that brings him down to our level. I think I like the old man a little more now, said Joe. I hate to admit that I love porn, 387. I hate this poll, 209, 15.3%, a devastating blow to our egos, collectively. All of us connected with the show. Even Mattie Bell ain't too happy about it. I hate to admit I love Neil Rogers, 160. Antiques Roadshow, 108. Talk Radio, 99. Vanilla Ice Cream, 93. The Carpenters, 76. Dog the Bounty Hunter, 71. Musical, 51. The Food Channel, 28. I don't love the Food Channel. I watch some crap on there every now and then. It's pretty weak. Neil Sedaka, 18. Home and Garden Show, 15. Myspace, 13.
Careful.
And let's see. Road Rage, 12. Country Music, 7. Cottage Cheese, 7. Feet, 4. And playing the slots, solamente dos, Harry.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers. You fell in love with her when Jeb Bush and his Florida legislature put her feeding tube back for another lifeless decade in a hopeless vegetative coma. Now it just won't be the media exploiting Terry Schiavo when you hear Terry Schiavo sing the holiday classics.
Cube.
Let Terry put you in a coma with this insipid standard. Order your Terry Schiavo holiday CD today, and happy holidays on behalf of yellow journalists everywhere.
Whatever you say, Terry, 1,372. I would say that's not bad when you come right down, wouldn't you?
I would agree.
I got cut a few seconds short there, and I sure didn't want to, I didn't want to sacrifice any of the remaining few seconds of the show. Do you think that would have been a bad idea?
That would have been terrible.
But on second thought...
Bye.